lives in the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine. Funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way. A bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the food cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the food cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the food cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the food cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live. I couldn't hear the music. The only person here that could
Huh?
hear the music was him.
I was rocking out. This is great.
Oh, it's good stuff. Well, we did try a different. You know what? We got to do the full intro first. So, and we're back.
Hey,
This is how you doing, Mike?
what?
He said,
Come closer. I can't hear you.
"This is great." So he asked how you were doing, but for everybody that's watching, this is okay. So we tried a completely different computer. I tried moving to Windows. Oh, they can't hear us. Who can't hear who? What? Oh, that's because I got you muted.
Minor details.
Now they can hear you.
Wow, this is we are off to a great start today, everybody. Hey, so Mike Hart is watching and Kim
Hey,
Howard.
Kim, how's it
So
going?
we have to apologize to you
Hey,
guys.
Mike. Oh, don't do that, David.
Wow,
It'll freeze up the
they're
computer.
very impressed. They're very impressed right now.
Yeah, this is if you want to start a live stream.
Hey, did you try to turn the volume up?
Don't do what we
That's as
do.
loud as we get right there. Here's the power of the Mac. There, full blast.
Oh man. So David, how are you doing?
I've had better technology days. So I spent about an hour working with a Windows machine building OBS up for us for tonight's show. And from a one side picture, it looked great. Everything was getting dialed in, everything was linking in perfect. All the way up to West connecting, and I couldn't get the NDI source from Skype to come over. So at what was it? 42?
742.
742, we
About
made the
742.
executive decision to flash override and switch back over to the Mac. So we grabbed the Mac computer, and then we have to set it all back up because, of the issues with the scaling and the different cameras and all the stuff. So we had to go through all of it. And we have an extra one tonight, so we wanted to have audio. Now, just so everybody could see how weird this is, West coming through the computer is extremely low. I'm bad hearing. I barely hear him. So that means I've got to shut up more tonight, which is probably better for everybody else.
Look, I wasn't going to make a comment.
I don't know what he said, but I'm going to guess he said no comment. So I can barely hear West. Mike can't hear West at all. West can hear me, but he can't hear Mike.
Wes can't hear me?
Well,
Wes can hear
gets
me.
his, like,
I can barely hear you, Mike.
background.
Doesn't he get me through this?
No, he gets you through here
Oh.
because of Skype.
Well, I mean,
so everybody
afterwards, if
watching
we
and
just do
listening,
this
we have to
post-production,
apologize.
we would have pieced it all
Remember
together.
how we used to
Yes.
complain a lot about Ecamm and talk about all the weird bugs with that platform? We may have to switch back or find something new because this current situation is not really working.
Yeah, so I've been hunting through all the different softwares, and all of them, they do parts of what we need. They don't do
Right.
the entirety of what we need, and that's what we're having problems
Right.
with.
So unless you want to drop like, like 10 grand on a dedicated machine that only does this and nothing else. Also, Kim says echo, echo. So apparently one of us is echoing as well.
Well,
Kim,
that's
which one of us
probably-
is echoing? This is gonna be an interesting show.
Well, it's probably I can see it right there.
That's probably my echo.
Yeah.
No, it's us because you're close to me.
So why don't I do this? Since I'm not getting... Wes can't hear me anyway. That was the whole purpose.
Yeah, I'll bet Mike's audio was coming through on both mics there, on the earpods and the
for some reason, okay, there's
microphone.
Okay, we're all right. We fixed the echo. We're going to extend the boom across and angle towards him, and we should be good.
I mean, I had a long morning. I'll be asleep in 5 minutes, so it's really not an issue.
All right, no, we got him now. We can still hear him. He said he's a little background, but we fixed the echo.
There you go. So next week, everybody, we will have something figured out. We'll have a much better setup by then. David, how you been? Aside from right now, how you been in general since last week? Oh no, I lost your audio completely. David, I got nothing for you. You're completely muted.
Mute
I
myself
can't hear you
during
at all.
that? I did.
Nope, there you are. I got
That's
you
all
back.
gotta
You're
say
back.
about that.
That's all I got to say about that. No, see, that was an
Holy
ID10T
cow.
error right there. As I was adjusting the mic, my thumb hit the mute button.
There you go.
Oh,
call that
man,
fat
we are
fingering.
on fire tonight. I haven't even started drinking.
We should be on fire. Somebody should literally light us on fire.
Yes. Yes.
So did you guys have a great Thanksgiving? How was Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was
Hopefully no
Thanksgiving was very
technology
good.
involved.
We had a good time. It was low key because it was just the four of us, just the four of us. So all in all, was nice and easy.
There you go. That's awesome. Sometimes it's nice to have a nice quiet, low key gathering like that. I get it.
Thank you, sir.
Mike, how about you? How was your
No, we're
Thanksgiving?
gonna start with the other one, but hold on one second here. So,
Oh,
West, we got to
priorities.
get to the important stuff. What are you drinking tonight?
So I finally went to the store and decided to restock on one of my personal favorites, the Tin Cup. So this is
Okay.
super inexpensive, but it's one of my daily go-tos. I love Tin Cup.
Nice.
Good
So,
stuff. What about you?
I've got a couple of here. What did you? Well, let's start with Mike. Mike, what did you start with?
So, once upon a time, David introduced me to a bourbon called Bluestone Manor. I was a big fan. So when I saw it sitting here, I said, I'm going to use his bourbon and pour it into my cup. And that's what I did. Bluestone Manor.
Yeah, so I picked a few of them out there that I thought you liked. I remember during the tasting that you liked the wild turkey.
Yeah, the real bad bourbon.
No, that's the one you liked. You did not like the blends. And
He did not like the
then
blends,
The
no.
Bluestone Manor I thought you liked, and I put the Calumet there, which is a blend, which I think you will like. These are available to you as well, but I've got 2 bottles up here to pick from. I've got my Weller Foolproof. It's delicious, absolutely delicious. Can't go wrong with that. And
By the
I struck gold
Go ahead.
twice this week.
That's right. I heard about the good news.
I walk in, and there's a bottle of Elmer T. Lee sitting on the shelf at my
You
absolutely not disclosed liquor store.
Yeah, you found a gold mine there. Don't tell anybody about that place because they have everything all the time apparently.
Every time I walk in there, there's something for me to go, ooh, do I really want to get that? And it's none of it's outrageous. None of it's outrageous priced. It's all reasonable. And so I picked this up the other day. And then my son and I, Noah, we were out. And on the way back through, I'm like, man, we're going to pass right past this place. I wonder if they have any decent deals for Black Friday. So I'll walk in and I'll walk past they have all the people there with the samples and test this and buy that group. And I just walk past them straight to the bourbon area. And they had another bottle of Elmer T. Lee, which is, I got this one in my hand and I don't know that you can, no, it's in the cabinet. It's in the cabinet. So I bought 2 bottles of Elmer T. Lee this week. I'll be eating
see,
ramen.
you got to stock up when you
will
can.
eat well this week, but I will be eating ramen and drinking Elmer T. Lee.
But you got to stock up when you can. Like when you find a good bottle, you got to get it.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the rule.
Absolutely.
So,
So that's what I'm
Mike-
going to start with tonight is Elmer T. Lee.
Mike Hard says the important stuff is that it's Michigan week. Go Buckeyes.
That is
So
absolutely
you
true.
New Yorkers wouldn't know about that.
It's Michigan week. Because we don't say M in this house during this week. I almost grabbed the ladders and climbed up the street signs here and crossed out all the M's.
That's hilarious.
Here. Nobody else would have got it.
Literally nobody else. They'd be like, "What is happening right now?"
There's actually at least 2 more Buckeye fans back in here.
Okay, there you go.
They would have possibly gotten it, but the police would not have.
They would not have approved. No.
They're like, "What are you doing up there? Taping off the M's? Why?
Yeah,
Go Bucks?"
Back in Columbus, the police probably would have helped you. So
yeah, they would have been like, "You need a lift. Hey, can we get a lift out here?"
Now this is coming from an outsider.
Okay.
Michigan week, sorry, when in Rome. When they're really bad, it's kind of like all lose situation for you, no? Like
No, we still want to beat them.
Of course, you still want to beat them, but they really got nothing to lose. Like
Yeah, they've got
They're supposed to get blown out this weekend.
Yeah, they're supposed to get blown out. We are supposed to win, but
you can't really win in this situation other than winning.
That's it. You have to win because this is the game that's circled. This is the game that's circled, regardless of the schedule, regardless of what's going on, regardless of the standings. There have been many times where unranked this team, us or them, have really upset and ruined the seasons of the other.
Because you'd almost rather it. Now I haven't followed the Michigan Ohio State rivalry since I really came across your fanaticism.
I'm actually low.
That's putting it mildly
than most of them.
So
that's putting it mildly, Mike. Yeah, come to Columbus. It's unbelievable.
In the standings.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't gone back historically to see how many times the other one has really ruined the day of the good one.
Yeah, that's that would be a great one. And you do the stat stuff like that, so yeah, that would be a good one. I'd like to know. Man, this is freaking delicious. I just love this bourbon. I really do.
Something called Elmer.
That's a good bourbon.
Reminds me of glue.
Tell you what, there's another. I got you a second glass. Why don't you take a dry sip of it?
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Take a dry, damn, or pour half a glass of it and go for it. Back here. It
Just
doesn't
go
matter
all
what
in.
it tastes like. 3/4 of the way in, he'll be sleeping back here.
be a splash.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be taking a nap on your couch.
So I don't know if you guys noticed. You know, we got Mike here from Goalie Dads United. I'm rocking the Goalie Dads United hoodie. This is my only hoodie.
Yep.
I've never seen. So when I saw you purchase the hoodie,
Yeah.
I was like, David's in a hoodie. I gotta see this.
Right. I've never seen David wear a hoodie
Yeah,
before.
I used to have a Corvette hoodie a while ago, and I think I left it somewhere. I think I left it in a hotel somewhere or something because I travel a lot, which I have left more things than I care to admit. Just been like, oh crap. Well, that's gone now. They're China's problem now.
Right.
But so yeah, I mean, I had one for the past forever, and now I've got this, and these are like super soft. So you go to the site goaliedadsunited.com, and I'm happy to say that they got their site set up set up through Shopify.
Nice.
And so, you know, I told him, I was like, oh, you guys need to go back and watch our video on Shopify. And I believe his words were, we did.
How do you think we made it this far?
Yeah, Shopify is awesome. It's not cheap, but the ease of use as far as setting up a shop, setting up the e-com functionality is super easy. I mean, the customer service is awesome. I've never had a problem with it. So yeah, how do you like it, Mike?
I like it. It's so I came from Big Commerce back in my candle days. I
Mhm.
was a big I used Big Commerce, and I think they had a little more flexibility. But for Shopify, it was really good. I mean, as easy as Shopify is, I can say one thing: Jeff can do it. So if Jeff can do it, it's pretty friggin' easy.
Is he not really a techie
I don't know
guy?
if Jeff's watching. I don't know if he's on here, but
Either, but I said it anyway.
he said it. He said it just in case he is watching.
I mean, if you know anything, Jeff's the happy-go-lucky. Everybody's peaches and rainbows, and I'm the realist.
Well, you know, I met you in person when I was there in New York, and you are kind of a hard ass. I was intimidated being in the same room.
Yeah.
It's mostly mostly. I'm a little grumpy. I think I could be considered a grumpy. My wife would tell you I'm really grumpy.
Nikki
But
tells
she
me that.
tells me all the time. Nikki tells you.
No. Nikki just tells you.
Oh, you. I was like,
tells me I'm
Nikki thinks
grumpy.
I'm grumpy.
Your wife's supposed to be grumpy. Your wife's supposed to think you're
I
grumpy.
think that's a guy. I think that's just a guy thing, though. I think the women are supposed to assume we're grumpy all the time. Like my wife, right before he came down, she's like, "Are you grumpy?" I'm like, I literally just walked through the room. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm just being right now.
Yeah. I'm just breathing.
Sorry, right. I just walked in.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I don't know what do you want from me? That's why we call them our first
Oh
wives.
man. There. Well, yeah, my current wife.
Current wife. That's right.
There you go.
Oh man, that is just delicious.
It seemed like there'll be another one.
In the wise words of my father. Now, my father didn't teach me a whole lot in the world, but when my mom and him got divorced, he said, "I'll never buy another. I might rent one for a few hours, but I'll never buy another."
Right.
And he's been single the rest of his life. So, I mean,
Look, I already
he
told
did
my
not
current
walk
wife when
back
she
on that.
yeah. I already told my current wife when she kicks me out, I'm done. I'm out of the game.
Yeah. Cabin in the woods sounds better and better, or a loft in downtown would work for me too.
No, I wouldn't be down.
You know what?
You like
Yeah.
that?
I'd stay right here.
Yeah.
I would buy the house across the street from our house currently, just so she would see me every day.
That way she has a chance to say, "Are you grumpy?"
Yeah.
She'll just see you scowling through the window.
Sorry, West. I can't.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was pretending to be able to read this. I can't see. I mean, I hit 45 and I can't see a thing. I can't read.
Getting old.
I mean, I could read.
You're an old man.
I can't see when I'm trying to read without my glasses or a light.
He's the old
That's-
guy in the restaurant with the flashlight on the camera.
Absolutely.
Right,
I'm
exactly. You need like one of those little like magnifying glasses on a chain that hang down around your neck.
Yeah, I need that. Am I the only one? Can you read this?
Actually, here, just borrow one of
Well,
David's
depends on what it
monocles.
is.
Can you read that?
Borrow one of
It's
David's
gotten a lot
monocles.
worse for me lately, but yeah, Elmer T. Lee produced some of the finest bourbon ever bottled. This single barrel bourbon is a tribute to him. Elmer T. Lee.
Hey, Mike, don't
Brought
be
to you in
fooled.
part
He
by
actually memorized the bottle.
Buffalo Trace.
Mike, don't. He memorized the bottle. Don't be impressed.
He said, I memorized the bottle. Don't be impressed.
Well, it's like See No Evil, Hear No Evil. You ever see that movie? With the blind guy and the deaf guy?
Oh, Gene Wilder and Richard
Gene
Pryor,
Wilder
yes.
and,
oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Richard Pryor's driving the car. Now he's blind.
What's wrong with you? You
And
blind?
he's looking
Right.
over at Gene Wilder and he's driving. And he goes, "Would you look at the road?" He goes, "Okay, if it'll make you feel any better." He can't see, he's blind.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was a
you can't
good
beat those
movie.
movies, man.
Ah.
It says.
It's good.
Those were the best. All right, you guys ready for a little news? We got some news.
I think we're about ready for some news. We're ready for some news. I can.
All
press the
right, I'll
button
try and
or
keep it
it's
good
right here at
news.
My fingertips.
We'll
Okay.
see. Let me know when we're over.
We're on the news.
All right, well, here's the first bit of news. The DOJ is telling Google they need to sell Chrome. So, let's see. Essentially, the DOJ is looking at all of Google's technology, and they're saying it's a real problem that Google owns Chrome and Android, and saying that they need to sell Chrome in order to make it a more fair marketplace as far as the search world goes. So that's interesting. I don't know. It's not huge news, but I thought it was interesting. I have mixed feelings. I'm kind of like one of those free market absolutists. But at the same time, I do know that results can be skewed, as we've seen during certain election seasons. David, what do you think?
I wouldn't have brought elections into it, but you could make anything say what you want. Me personally, I think
That's it.
I'm more along your lines there. I'd rather them stay out of it. But to be honest, if the DOJ was going to step in right now and do something, I'd much rather them step in and require every time that one of these companies sold our data, they had to get our written permission to do so. I'd much rather see that.
Right. Right. Here's the thing. Like, I understand that you want to keep it fair, but forced fairness isn't fair at all.
But
That's the problem. This is basically setting a precedent for them to come in and basically take anybody's technology and say it's now open source.
well, they're not saying it has to be open source. They're just saying they have to divest and split that
Well,
off.
they'd
and
have to
sell.
divest it.
I
And
mean,
well, and here's
if
the
I
thing:
were
Google
Google,
will
I'd
find
stand
a
Google up by or Chrome up by itself, and sell out. I mean, you're going to make a mint on it, and you could be an investor in it still. I mean, and you
Well,
have a
no, here's what's
contract
gonna-
to still pull the data and get all the. So you can still reap all the benefits of it while it's a standalone business. And if it fails,
Well,
it
no,
doesn't,
here's what's gonna
you can
happen is,
shift that money over to somebody else.
No, here's what's going to happen. They're actually going to spin Chrome off into its own company, or a separate division of Google off into its own company. It'll still be the exact same owners, exact same board members, and they're going to share data back and forth exactly the same way they always have. They'll actually probably become a lot more profitable because they're going to have two separate businesses instead of just the one. But that's essentially what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it does have a weird precedent attached to it when things like this happen legally.
To me, it's odd that the DOJ says this and not the SEC. That's the
Right.
thing that stands out more.
Yeah. It's some interesting, I think, backroom conversations happening around some of these moves. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for some of the backroom conversations to see which palms were greased where and why. But all that fun news aside, here's another one. Here we go. From Earth.com. The exact shape of a single photon is finally revealed for the first time. And as we're seeing, the shape of a photon is roughly a lemon.
Lemon. All right.
So
you can
in
visit
case
that
you
at
ever want to know what shape a
lemonparty.com.
photon is, it's a lemon. Yeah, full information on lemonparty.com. It's all about photonic technologies. So go there. It will actually burn your retinas right out of your skull, but that's probably for different reasons than you're expecting.
I got something on this. 8th grade, I learned that a proton was circular.
Proton or a photon?
This is a photon, not a proton.
Okay. Carry on.
Much, much smaller than a proton.
Coming back to the back. Like, this is news. I knew this 40 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, so a photon is actually much smaller and much more ambiguous than a proton. So they actually came up with this image of what a photon looks like based on mathematic calculations. This isn't actually a picture of a photon, because I think that's actually impossible. Thanks Einstein for that one. But in case you ever want to know what a photon look like, it looks like a lemon. All right, next piece of news.
I'm still a little baffled on this. So I love it. Like, we
Okay.
know what it looks like, but we couldn't. This is old. You guys took a picture of it? No.
Exactly.
So it
Well,
looks
how are you going to take a
exactly
picture
like
of
that?
light?
Well, the calculations say so.
Well,
So
because
you're
here's the
guessing.
problem.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about quantum uncertainty last week. So basically, it's either moving as a wave or a particle, depending on either how you're observing it or the direction in which it's moving. It's one of those two properties.
So
To take a photograph of it
this iteration, it would
you'd
have
need
to
to
be
know
as a
where it
particle.
is and where it's right. But to take a photograph, you need to know not only where it is, but what state it's in at any given point to get the photograph. Plus
Which
the
means
fact,
that
how are you going to
every
have
point
light?
it has to behave like a particle.
Well, additionally, how are you going to get light to bounce off of light in order to take a photograph of the light? A photon is light.
This sounds made up.
We get into these. So for those of you guys, I'm working on something right now with the Goalie Dads United. I'm going to be doing a trivia with them here. Yes, in the upcoming, probably within the next month or so. I'm putting the PowerPoint together to run the actual Jeopardy style thing
Now,
in
what
the
kind of trivia?
spreadsheets to make it all work. And I was like, man, it'd be nice to include West, but the Venn diagram that overlaps West and the Goalie Dads United, it just barely overlaps.
Look, we all have our areas of expertise. I have a feeling that my interests and pastimes may not be the same as normal humans.
This is yes, us the mere mortals of the world. Yes, we do know the difference between cricket and polo, as opposed to whether a photon being observed going through one slit versus two slits of when you observed what it was observed. It's
Wes, let's be real. You are
Look.
significantly smarter than I am. There's no
I
no
highly
trivia
doubt that.
contest in the world is going to debunk that.
the
It's
one that I'm going to
Mike.
run for you guys would debunk that.
Because you said cricket, and I'm thinking the design that I have to weed and like iron on transfers.
You got to know what a crumpet is in order to stay in
Oh.
cricket.
I mean, I know T. Is that what a crumpet?
He didn't see that movie, David.
He didn't say that was teenage. That was the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
You're
movie.
Trivia. There's no movie trivia. None. Otherwise, I'm done.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
So no, I've got some of them that you're gonna have an advantage on. I've got some that people who have watched more than 3 movies in their life are gonna have an advantage on. But I was there thinking, I was like, man, can I add West? I was like, the only thing I could do is I'd have to add a category that just said West.
I'll take West. For
Useless
400.
shit you'll never
West for
know.
400.
You'll never
Alex?
need to know.
So
At least once a week, my current wife asks me, how do you know this random piece of information and you don't remember, common stuff about our family? I'm like, I don't know. That's just my brain, how it works.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, it's
And
the
David,
important
you're
stuff.
exactly the same way, so you have no room to talk.
There was a car one time when I just got my driver's license. I'm driving my buddy Benny, and we're driving down, and this car cuts us off, and I said, "Remember that license plate." This was, 40, 20, 25 years ago. To this day, I remember the license plate. R2S 750.
That's pretty
I don't know
cool.
why.
I can't remember.
R2Y 750. In case you guys didn't get that.
I can barely remember my own phone
Now it
number.
will be mostly stuck in my head too.
Yeah. I'll quiz you.
R2Y
All right.
750.
Yeah.
Mine is birth dates.
Oh,
And
yeah,
part
sure,
numbers. Oh,
sure.
Lord of mercy. Part numbers, man. Part numbers get up here. They just don't go away. I can't get rid of them.
What kind of
Part-
part
Doesn't matter. If you tell me the name of something, I might struggle. But if you're like, oh, it's this brand and it's this 15-digit freaking part number, in 20 years, I might come back to you and go, oh, yeah, we need a blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's that part number. It says that goes back to it. So, yeah, you don't watch a lot of movies. Wes doesn't know literally anything about any sport.
No. I could either learn about what a down means in football, or I can learn about what a photon does. I can't store both. It's basically a new type of like quantum entanglement thing where I can know one and not the other. I can't know both at the same time. All right, so since I'm feeling kind of a downer, I brought some real downer news for us here today from Fortune. Nearly a quarter of baby boomers and late Gen X men are unretiring or planning to because they can't afford to kick up their feet and in the current climate. Basically, people are coming out of retirement because they can't afford things. Things are getting too expensive. So probably it's a
That
good thing they
happens,
should be
that
watching our
happens
show.
consistently, though. That happens
Right. This
based upon the
happens every few
market, the
years.
location. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a
Right.
downer. I would just say that's kind of, shit happens.
Have you seen Shawshank
Right. It
Redemption?
happens
Yeah.
about once every 10 years.
It's
Something like this
nothing
happens.
top
Actually, every
tier,
4
but
years,
okay.
the economy goes through the presidential election season dip, and it'll come back. Give it a year and a half. Give it
Jesus,
18
man.
months. It'll be back.
Dude,
What?
let's make the rest of the show without
No.
mentioning.
I'm not talking about I'm not
all of
talking
us
about
are
politics.
just wore out on.
Dude, I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about the fact that every time there's an election season, regardless of who's running,
Yeah,
the economy takes a dip. It doesn't have anything to do with one candidate or the
yeah,
other.
it does.
It's
The
just
uncertainty.
it's the uncertainty. It's the uncertainty
Yeah,
of the election
uncertainty
itself.
drives cost.
That's all I was
And
talking
it makes
about.
people
I wasn't
stingy with
talking
their
about
money.
right. I wasn't talking about like candidates. I was talking about just the trend that you see, and that is a trend.
So here's the thing for all these baby boomers who told all of us to buy a house when we were 4 years old and we'd be all right. Here's my advice to them: you should have bought Bitcoin.
Dude, Bitcoin, holy moly,
You could be a billionaire, but you didn't buy Bitcoin. So enjoy
it kills me.
sacking groceries at the store, at Piggly Wiggly. Yeah, I mean,
It kills
it's
me.
just. I mean, you gotta do what you
You,
gotta do. It doesn't matter what part of life you're in. If I lost
yeah, a
my
few
job
years ago,
tomorrow, I'd just be, out on the market and I would do something to keep stuff moving until then.
yeah. So some time ago, a client paid me in Bitcoin just out of curiosity. I was like, sure, I'll take Bitcoin, and it's in my Coinbase wallet, and I'm not doing anything with it. I didn't touch it this entire time. They paid me $600. This is a pretty small job. I haven't touched it since then. I just wanted to see what would happen. It's 10x. It's more than 10x since I received it.
Yeah.
I would call that pretty good payment for that job. I don't know.
Yes.
So I'm not suggesting people invest in Bitcoin. I'm just saying certain cryptocurrencies that begin with the letter D have really increased over the past few weeks.
It does. Doge has done pretty well.
It's going up. It's surprising. So look, I'm not saying people should invest in crypto. I'm just saying there's money there.
Yeah.
There's money there.
And to talk about the evildoers of the world. BlackRock owns a ton of Bitcoin, so eventually
They
it'll
do.
roll over and everybody will bail on Bitcoin and move over to Doge. So that's what you should do. Don't buy Bitcoin, bail on Bitcoin, and come to Doge.
Actually, I still genuinely think people need to invest in Ethereum over Bitcoin. The reason for that is the smart contract functionality.
Ethereum Classic
I honestly,
or Ethereum?
uh, the new ETH, the new
Okay,
ETH
the one, I
that's
think you
out.
just called Ethereum.
Yeah, just Ethereum. So because of the smart contract functionality, I'm telling you, within 10 years, all contracts will have smart blockchain-based smart contract functionality.
So we called that like 2 years ago, and then we just found out that California is doing what their auto titles through that technology.
Right.
Just
Exactly.
a few months ago we reported. So it's been like two and a half years that we talked about the blockchain, and the only or not the only the big value that it's going to bring in the future is going to be the contracts, and then to find
hmm
out that your mortgage could be your I'm sorry, the title for your home, the deed for your home your car and all that stuff. And we find out that California is actually putting it on a blockchain.
Right. I'm telling you, it's almost impossible to hack. It's transferable. It holds its value. I'm honestly okay. That was your ice. I'm honestly in the thinking about starting a loyalty program that is based specifically for high end brands. That is based on the blockchain, where to buy into their loyalty program, you'll buy a piece of this blockchain, and that will be your membership into the program. So that way, it's non-fungible. People can't fake your identity to get those deals. They know who you are. You know who they are. I'm telling you, there is money there. There's something there that people haven't tapped yet. It's just waiting.
Anchovy flavored underwear. Let's go. What's next up for the news?
That sounds wonderful. All right, and the last piece of news is last week we talked about Jaguar.
Yes. Oh my Lord. Have you seen
Jaguar.
this week?
So let's as a quick recap for those who don't know, if you've been sleeping under a rock, Jaguar rebranded to this interesting aesthetic that's on the screen now. Basically, they put out a whole new rebrand. They changed the logo, put out a commercial. They didn't have any cars in it, just these oddly dressed people on this alien
People.
world for some reason. And it was good for a laugh. And there were a lot of people that were hoping that this is all just a prank. That they'd put out another campaign that said that sort of made fun of this whole thing and it went back to their classic roots. I don't think that's the case anymore because Jaguar actually did the worst thing imaginable. I can't think of a worse way to handle this type of backlash. First of all, their stock tanked. Everybody online has been trashing on them ever since, and uh, went and did this. Jaguar's managing director is defending the British luxury car maker's rebrand campaign,
He needs to be fired immediately. If you're on
calling
the
out
board,
some
get
of
rid
it,
of this guy.
calling out some of its online critics and characterizing their reaction as vile hatred and intolerance. Um, in an interview with Financial Times, Rawdon Glover, which I'll tell you about the jokes about that name later, said the campaign's intended message was lost in a blaze of intolerance, and that the controversial promotional video was not meant to be a woke statement, as some critics have argued. So basically, they're blaming the audience uh, for the terrible reaction. Now, I just want to play this video again, just so everybody watching and listening can see what we're talking about here. This is the new Jaguars commercial. This is good stuff here.
So I don't think we're gonna have audio on it, but
Ooh,
you will
live
see it.
vivid, delete ordinary, break molds. The Addams Family. Okay. Copy nothing. Which is funny. They ended it with copy nothing, and literally their font on the new logo is the exact same font used by Smart Car, the one that looked like the electric clown car that drove around, the little white and blue one. It's the exact same font. So they said copy nothing. The first thing they copied was the font.
Yeah. What's
Holy
funny
moly.
is there are several things in the video itself, like the color scheme, the people's haircuts, and everything that people can show you that have been copied and used.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I honestly, and this was the difference between our response to it and a lot of other people's. We didn't look at it from a uh political statement
Political
or any of
standpoint.
that.
We didn't look at
We
the
don't
political
care.
thing.
I literally do not care.
Yeah.
It's the business part of it that I have a problem with. If you wanted to
Right.
spin up a company that had that font and had that style and you created a market for that, but right now you're alienating all of your market and you've tanked it. So you bought Tata, who is the owner of this, bought
Mm-hmm.
it for $2.3 billion from Ford, and that was for Jaguar and Land Rover, which includes Range Rover. So
Right.
I'm going to start, and we talked about this last week. I'm going to start a GoFundMe, but I'm only going to try to get 1.5 billion because I think they've killed the brand enough that I should be able to buy this at a discount now. So we're going to try to raise $1.5 billion to go buy Jaguar and Land Rover and Range Rover.
Did
Right.
you say Tatas?
Tata,
Tatas.
yeah, that's the name of the company.
I would think you
Boobs.
could get 1.5 billion for Tatas.
Right. So Jaguar, it's 100-year-old brand. They had 100 years of brand equity built up with some of the most beautiful cars, beautiful vehicles ever created by humans or anyone in the universe, and they flushed it down the drain for this. I honestly don't think they can recover from this unless they come out and say, "Sorry guys, we were joking." I don't think they can recover from
No,
this.
they've killed this brand. So I might wait a year. So here's the thing: they haven't made a Jaguar in a year. They haven't built a car this year.
Right. Well,
They haven't-
because they shut down production specifically so they could focus on gearing up their factories for electric. They're going all electric.
Don't get me wrong. Hey, you know, if I buy it, I'm going to have electric vehicles. Why would you not? I mean, it's bonkers not to.
Well, you
I
can
would
have an electric vehicle or a
vehicles,
line of electric
hybrids,
vehicles.
and, you know, real cars.
Right. You can have a line of electric cars. You don't think you can take some Jaguar and throw away what the classic brand is and only do this other thing that's pretty much kind of unproven. Everybody knows electric cars. People who have them tend to love them, but you got to admit the resale value is not great. Uh, there are issues.
There are
with
issues. We're working
There
our
are
way through
issues, but we will eventually get there.
it.
I'm
Jaguar
less
fixed that
offended
by
with the
changing.
cars.
So in case you guys didn't hear, Mike was saying that people steal the hood that people can steal the hood
Sure.
ornaments off the Jags and whatnot. And back in the day, that was a huge problem. Jaguar
That
fixed that
was.
by getting rid of the hood ornaments, and they now just have an emblem
Right.
at the front of the vehicle. Yeah. So I almost bought one. My ultimate dream car is the 2013 supercharged XJL Portfolio Edition. That is the car I want.
Nice.
That is my car.
It's a nice car, man.
And so the one I want is black. I found one in the green, or maybe blue. It might have been blue. But I was okay with. I mean, that's the lowest thing inside the car. I didn't know what the outside looked like, right? And I almost bought it. I'm glad I didn't.
You know what I love about life?
Living it.
The fact that we can be close. I consider us close friends.
Yeah.
Okay. And we couldn't be more opposite.
No, that's great.
Like in every walk of life, we couldn't be more opposite.
Love it.
I don't know the first thing about cars.
Oh.
Not the first thing. But if I had one broken, I would bring it down here.
I know how they function. I know how they work. That goes for electric cars as well.
Yeah.
But I understand how an engine functions fully, and I can work on them. We've done a lot more work than what we should have in our driveway here, but we've done
And
full brake jobs out here.
if I started my car and it didn't start, or I needed brakes, I'd just get a new car. Same thing with lawnmowers, power washers, you name it. If it doesn't work, I just get a new one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know
So-
where to
so
begin to start it.
So that's a great that's a great thing right there. Tatas, you should learn from him. Instead of it's tough. It's really tough to talk about slits and tatas in the same podcast without laughing and, and losing it. We talked about the double slit experiments earlier, and now we're talking about tatas. Well, let's call the double slit experiment with the photons.
That was double slit?
Well, yes, a double slit experiment. Anyway, we could take
Yeah,
our time
Mike,
to
go to
explain
double-
it, but
go-
we've
Mike, go
already
to
put
doubleslit.com.
our viewers to sleep 15 times with that conversation.
Woke him up with saying there was two slits.
2 slits and some tatas, yeah. So I'm saying but but again, because we look at everything through the filter of the business, that stuff's in the back. The 15-year-old kid is in the background laughing. We're still moving forward with it. But they could have, instead of trying to rebuild this thing that wasn't broken, they could have spun up a business, a brand that was its whole identity, which we talked about last week or the week before, the brand identity it could have spun its whole brand identity around encompassing what this show or this commercial was saying, and it would be a much easier path. So all these people are supposed to look at the return on investment, the ROI. The fastest path to ROI is not killing a brand and trying to recreate something else or rebranding, which is one of the dumbest terms I've ever heard, but would be in this case much quicker a return on investment for them to spin up a brand that its whole embodiment is flamboyant colors. That was there. That's in there. Jaguar doesn't have that. Jaguar's always been very mindful, very demure, very mute. Right? It hasn't been. Yeah, I know. It's always been kind of subtle. And if you guys watch that crazy Icelandic comedian, I say subtle just because of him. I know that it's pronounced subtle, but you could have had something that has that flamboyant, that pizzazz, and that builds around the electric vehicle only. There's it would have been so much easier, and the path to profitability would have been quicker. It's just like I have no idea who's making the decisions over or making the executive decisions over there, but it's not a smart man, Jenny.
think I ruined
Well,
the
look,
laugh.
I'm actually less offended at the change from gas to electric cars. I'm less offended about the designs of the cars, which are guaranteed to be terrible. I'm more offended at destroying a classic brand. Again, they had 100 years of brand equity built up. It's the same thing with Twitter turning
Yeah,
into
we said the same
X,
damn thing about
right?
Twitter.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah. What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you take the brand equity, Musk, and just dump it down the toilet? Why?
It makes no sense.
It
So
doesn't make
Jaguar has always
sense.
been known for being classic, masculine. You look at the old logo; it was fast and it was cool, and it was like, yeah, you could have taken the original logo from 100 years ago, put it on a T-shirt, and dudes all over the world would buy it and wear it proudly.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the same problem now.
No. No. No.
Nobody's wearing this logo on a T-shirt.
No.
Oh
So
shoot, I forgot to make the T-shirt with this. I forgot to make the T-shirt with the Underdog logo within
so
the classic Jaguar.
okay.
I forgot
So
about that.
so what would be your first move? Okay, say they bring us in and they say, "What are we going to do?
Hmm.
How do we salvage this? We're going forward with this. How do we salvage this?" What's your first move?
Oh, so they definitely want to go forward with this.
Yes, they want to go forward with this. What's your first move?
I would spin this off as a secondary Jaguar brand. I would have it Jaguar Electric versus classic Jaguar. I would find a better way, a more eloquent way to differentiate them in the name. Um, but I like your idea from last week where you have the classic Jaguars being sold as in limited numbers to race fanatics. Um, I would spin this one off.
No, you don't
Boy,
get to
that's
do that.
rough.
You've got to take this. There's no other thing. This the only
Okay.
cars we're making fit
Okay, so
the
are you asking me about PR? Are you asking me about fixing this from a PR
PR.
perspective or fixing this from a
How would
marketing
you
perspective?
take the next step to build brand identity and attract followers
Right.
in
Well, here's the
this
problem. You're
brand?
not
We
going
don't
to.
get to do the sports
Well,
car. We don't get to
David,
do the
right.
British
Okay. I get it.
pedigree.
I get it. Here's the problem. You're not going to. Because this aesthetic and the way they rolled this out isn't going to have the same following as the classic Jaguar brand. You can never go back to what that was from this point. You can't do it. It's different planets. What you can try and do is you can try and build this into the target audience you're looking at. Now, this target audience, you have to admit, is worlds apart from the classic Jaguar target audience. I mean, not even remotely the same people.
Oh
So
yeah,
you're gonna have to
absolutely.
start. So all you have now is the name Jaguar if you want to have that relation. Now you can take that and you can try and build that into a classic brand for this other target
I don't think
audience,
they're trying that.
understanding you're never going to get the original target audience back. You
Oh no,
just
no.
can't. They're that different.
Making the moves that they did, they have spoken very clearly. They want nothing to do with historic Jaguar owners.
Well, especially since what was his title at Jaguar? Basically the head guy, managing director at Jaguar said it's basically the audience's fault for
Yeah,
being
all right, Kathleen Kennedy,
terrible people.
fuck off.
I'm not bringing politics into it.
No, no, no.
I could
I'm calling him
I could
Kathleen
tell you.
Kennedy because it's toxic fandom again. The same
So can you see
excuse
my
they use
screen?
about the Star Wars, the last 3 Star Wars movies. The toxic fandom didn't like it. No, 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 no.
Hey,
You
David,
gave us a shit
can you see my
product. That's what
screen?
you gave us.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So the guy's name is. We're getting really juvenile here. This is super sophomoric, but I love the fact this guy's name is Rodon Glover because this can be broken down if you change the spacing in the letters here. See where I'm highlighting? I'll let you read it. What did I just highlight?
Raw.
What did I just highlight?
Don.
D-
Dong.
D-O-N-G.
Raw Dong Lover.
His name is Rodon Glover. Rodon Glover.
Wait a minute.
Rodon Glover. That's the guy's
My
name.
language.
Now we understand what happened.
I honestly, that's why a lot of people are thinking this is a troll. They are joking about this whole thing. There's no such person as Rodon Glover.
So
Rodon Glover. You
if
got to
we
say it
had a
fast to really
chance
get
to
it.
walk this back, let's say Tatas comes in and says, "Hey, all right, we screwed up. How do you guys bring this back?"
Oh, they could walk this back. Here's the
we
thing.
get Monty Python to pull the joke in, and he is actually playing the character of Raw Dong Lover.
I can't.
Right. So here's the thing. If they pulled this, if they really wanted to pull this back in the best possible way, they would make. So I wish I had it prepared. Somebody made a video, an AI video that had those same people sitting in that same environment, and a bunch of actual jaguars came running through and attacking them. I wish I had the video prepared, and it looked like real. And basically, it was a wish list of what Jaguar would do to fix the problem is sick actual Jaguars on that room of people. And that's what they could do. They could do something like that. Say, hey, this was just a joke. We wanted to troll modern, ultra sophisticated bourgeoisie society
That's what
and say,
Jaguar already is.
well, no, but
Not
not sophisticated, not sophisticated in Jaguar sense. I mean sophisticated. Look, I hate to use the word woke, but the typical what you think of when people say woke personas. You know what I mean? The ultra bright
so you
colors.
say they're mid.
The captain
They're
the
not
Captain
Sigma.
Planet the Captain Planet cast and crew of people in the scene where there's literally every single they them imaginable. I'm not saying having that diversity is bad. I'm just saying the people that were in the ad, right? You know what I mean? If Jaguar came back and said, "Yeah, this whole thing was a joke, poking fun at this type of ad because it's completely unnecessary, didn't even show a car," they could pull it back, but they would have to
they
go
didn't show a car
hard
because
on
they
the
haven't
fact
made a
this
car
was
in
a
a
joke.
year.
Right. But here's the thing. They could, if they kept their original aesthetic, if they kept the original logo, if they kept their original mentality around cars and luxury branding, they still could have gone full electric and pulled that off. Now it might have sucked and eventually they might have to put out a normal gas engine again, but they could have pulled it off had they kept the original aesthetic. Given this aesthetic, if they are serious about this, they can never hit the original target audience ever again. That target audience is lost.
56 minutes, Wes. Hello, welcome. I can finally hear you.
We finally found the volume control.
Button.
Oh, now people can hear me.
No,
Fantastic.
they've been able to. They hear. We haven't been able to hear you. We've had to be over here like super quiet.
I'm just smiling in the background.
Like,
Now I can hear you. Welcome.
All right. Well, I can barely hear you, so I'll try and.
Well, I have a question about Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Sure.
Jaguar. Don't you now? This is going to be deep for me. You're going to be surprised by this, but do you not think that this strategy is driven by data or data, depending on how
No.
you don't?
I think it's driven by ideology.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because here, so
Well,
one of
wait a minute.
David and I have always talked about target audiences, customer avatars.
God, it's so much better.
We mention that at least once every single episode for a reason. You can't tell me after 100 years Jaguar doesn't have enough
So
audience
that's
data
so that's where
to
I'm
know
gonna.
who to speak to and how to speak to them.
So yeah, that's where I'm gonna step in and say, yes, it's driven by data. But it's not driven by the right data. If
I don't think it's
No,
no.
no, no.
I
This is
disagree
data
still.
driven. Is there a market for this? Is there a market for the
No.
brand that they have
No.
right there? Okay, so if
No.
Jaguar comes to me and says, "David, we're going to run forward with this. There's no going back. I'm going to start I'm going to start liaising with high-end fashion brands
Okay.
and I'm going to start talking to them. So there is a market for this car. It has nothing to do with its history. It has nothing to do with
Mhm.
its brand identity. We got to spin it up completely and entirely as something new that actually has to shake off the dead weight. So we have more work to do than if we were doing it brand new.
Mhm.
So, but it is there. So there is data to support a brand that looks like this. But just as you were saying, the number of times that we have spoken about knowing your customer, who you are, brand identity, brand equity. Oh my God, the toilet just flushed so loud on billions of dollars of brand equity with Jaguar. It is it's insane. But yes, I don't want to say no, there was not data. I'm saying yes, it's data. It was either not parsed correctly or presented correctly.
Can I disagree with you now?
Absolutely. You're welcome to disagree with me.
All right. Here's why I disagree. It's not data driven because when you actually look at the data, again, they have 100 years of brand equity. There is 0% chance that they didn't know exactly who their target audience had been for that 100 years or how to speak to that target audience. Now, that target audience, like it or not, still exists. It will always exist in some form or another. That classic, well-to-do men will want a classic car of that aesthetic.
Yeah, now I got to
That's
find a new
always
car.
going to exist. Now,
That's
you're
why I'm
right.
mad.
There are people in the world who are attracted to this aesthetic.
Love that car.
However, this aesthetic is fleeting. This is a trend. This is not a long-term brand. This is a trend that comes and goes. This is something that you look at maybe every 20, 30, 40 years and say these types of looks will come and go. They're very avant-garde. They're going to pop up when pop culture deems it so at the time. They're
All
not
right.
classic
All
in
right.
that they will always be around. Hang on.
Oh
Hang on.
shit! You're still disagreeing with me. Go
So
ahead.
even though, no, I'm very disagreeing with you. So even though there is data to say that there is an audience for this audience is significantly smaller than the classic brand lover. This audience will spend significantly less on their automobiles. There will be the odd Eurotrash here and there that will spend $1 billion on a piece of luxury whatever that looks like a giant sculpture that was pooped out by a midget somewhere. But those people are few and far between. The data, if this was data driven, the data will always point back to the classic brand being the way to go. This was not data driven, this was ideologically driven. And I can point at data that proves that.
But the people who liked those cars are in nursing homes. So
I'm not a
Not
nursing
necessarily,
home.
David. No. Hey, you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong, Mike. I rarely say flat out you're wrong. Here's
Except to
where you're
me.
wrong.
Except to me. He tells me
I
I'm
say it to
wrong.
David.
He's
I
like,
say
Any
it to David
chance he
freely.
gets.
me, I'm wrong. I like this.
I say it to David freely.
Any chance
If
he
you
gets
look
to
at
tell me I'm wrong,
Mike,
he's like, fuck yeah.
so Mike, if you look at branding in general, if you look at like logos, if you look at fonts and text and things like that, um, it's very it comes in the trends and come and go in those areas, right? If you look at these sorts of fonts and these sorts of logos and these sorts of color schemes, they were very popular about 10 years ago. But what you're finding now is there's a significant swing back to the idea that what's old is new again. There's the newer generations that are coming up. They want the classic brands. They want these older style fonts. They want the older style this and that because they long for a time they never knew that their grandfathers did know. The younger men coming up are longing for the idea of something solid, something steady, something classic, something that will always be beautiful. You can look back at the classic Jaguar designs of their cars; they will always be beautiful, right? However, these overly artistic, overly designed cars that are coming out now, yeah, they're kind of cool when they come out. You look at them a year later, you can't stand them. They're terrible. The colors are bad, the lines are bad. But you look at a Jaguar, a classic Jaguar, it's always going to look good.
See, and
That's the difference.
I think that might be a difference in opinion.
It absolutely is.
I look at those classic Jaguars,
Okay.
and I think I would never in a million years want one or have one.
Okay, let me put it this way. Maybe not you necessarily. Let me put it this way. When you're watching a James Bond film, now you're not a movie guy, so maybe
I've
you're
seen
a
James
bad
Bond
example on
movie.
this. All right. So if you were to go out to a James Bond movie, hypothetically, a hypothetical new James Bond movie, and you see you see James Bond hopping into a classic Jaguar, which by the way in the books he actually had a Jaguar, not an Aston Martin. So that's very important. So if you see so if
No,
you
I'm being
see
serious.
James Ian Fleming is rolling in his grave.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ian Fleming's like, and Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lloyd?
Christopher Lee.
I know him.
Christopher Lloyd is also rolling in his grave. He's not dead
That's
yet.
the
But
one
all
I
right,
want.
so if you saw a hypothetical James Bond film, a guy with a really nice suit, he's James Bond to the T, right? And you see him hop into a classic Jaguar and drive away, you're like, that makes sense. That looks cool for that cool guy. Versus if you saw James Bond hop into a smart car, are you going to feel the same way about that guy?
Uno momento se por favor. Uno momento se por favor, señor.
Hmm?
I beg your pardon, because in one of the latest James Bonds under Daniel Craig, they specifically put him in a Ford Focus ST
I mean,
and had him balls out in a Ford Focus ST.
All right. You kind
But
of
to
got me
be
there,
fair,
but
the
David,
Ford Focus
now
ST
David,
is a badass little car.
it's a Ford.
to be fair,
The ST, that
did you
Ford Focus
feel
ST is not. I mean,
did you feel
you
the
could
same way
drive
about
a
that?
Ford Focus ST at 100% of what a Ford Focus ST can go.
No, David,
Oh, sorry.
did you feel the same way about that scene versus when he hopped in an
When he
Aston
hopped
Martin
in
and drove away?
the DB9, I think, or the
Did you feel the
DB11
same
that he
way?
had.
Did
Yeah,
it have the
no.
same? Did it have the
I'll
same
take
appeal?
I'll take the DB9 or the DB11.
And
Actually, the
not
DB5.
even from. Hang on,
is-
hang on. Wait, hang on. You don't. Hang on. I don't think you can hear me. From
Oh no, we're just talking over you.
Yeah. So not from your personal perspective, but just from like the cool factor of seeing James Bond hop into this car versus that, which had the same like visceral cool appeal. Not a car you'd want to drive, but what
Oh
had the
no,
same visceral cool appeal.
the Aston Martin. I mean, the Aston Martin is the only car that has a possibility of ever overtaking my Jag. Well, now I have to go to Aston Martin. I have to. I got to give up Jaguar. I'm not going to be part. I'm not. Would not be party to any of this. Uh, it's like I don't get on Twitter or X. I don't do it anymore. I won't do it. I literally refuse to be part of trashing such a good business. I won't do it. And it has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with any of the things that other people would think about. I'm just pissed that he threw away all that brand equity. Simple as
Right.
that.
Right.
And the same exact things goes true with Jaguar. So the Aston Martin now has to be my new car. The difference is the Aston Martin is 10 times or more expensive than the than the Shaguar, which is Austin
So
Powers' car, by the way, is the Shaguar, which is a Jaguar Eagle.
I like Dumb
That's
and
pretty
Dumber's
funny.
car, the one that looks like a dog.
The dog,
Yeah.
the van.
Yeah, the
I-
dog.
the
van.
shaggin'
I don't
wagon.
know that I'd do the
Shaggin' wagon,
dog.
yeah.
I don't know that I would do the dog
I
part of
would
it.
do that
But
for
if
any of these cars.
I'll tell you the most. Oh, this is terrible. The most comfortable vehicle I've ever had was the Chevy Astro van. You could drive that thing for
I've driven one of those.
days on end.
What were you doing
I was a service tech.
in a Chevy Astro van? With
Yeah.
a mattress in the back?
It did not have a mattress in the back.
Jesus.
No, I was. So
Yeah,
I used to
the
deliver
windows
to
were all
P. Diddy,
painted
right?
out. It was yeah, it was pretty creepy.
No. No. So you had the racks and the equipment in the back. So in the back of it was like a service vehicle. But you set up in that car, it was so nice. So nice. One of these days I'm gonna buy another one. I mean, you can get them for like $1.50 at the fucking flea market now. But one of these days, I'll buy another. We should get to the topic.
Well,
See,
so
we
by
did
the way,
this.
real quick,
No. We did this
hang
last
on.
week.
Yeah.
We start talking about Jaguar. Jaguar, and what they've done is the same thing happened when Twitter rebranded to X. Wes and I took 2.5 weeks of just browbeating Elon Musk for being a freaking idiot over what he did. And
We did.
now
We
here it
did.
is, history repeating itself. Somebody else has done
With
something
Jaguar.
monumentally stupid, and we're browbeating them for multiple weeks in a row.
I don't think it's stupid.
So look, before we hop off this subject, I didn't bring up the statements that are on video. It's all over YouTube. You can look it up yourself. Of the head of marketing for the Jaguar division of Tatas. I didn't bring up his video where he was in front of a huge crowd. I forget. I don't even know where he was speaking, but he was on mic and everything. And he was talking about all of the ideological reasons about why they did different things. So it's actually in his own words. Look, I'm not making this up. Do the homework yourself. I'll tell you why I didn't bring up the video, David. I thought about it, but I didn't because it gets very political.
Yeah.
It's very ideological driven, and I know we didn't want to go there, so I
we
didn't bring it
definitely
up.
don't want to go there. I appreciate that. We don't want to go there, and we understand that there's ideologies that and it's not both directions; it's in all directions. There's way more than two.
And everything is in all directions.
Yeah,
but
everything's in
to
all
throw away 100 years of brand equity, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
That's what offends me.
Yeah, if the people out there want to be offended by the political reasons of it, by all means, go for it. It's a stupid ass reason to be offended, but whatever. My anger about this is the 100+ years of brand equity you had.
That's it.
In you were a top 4.
Were they?
Yes. So you had
yeah, 5. Yeah, I'd say top 4.
Enzo Ferrari himself called the
Mhm.
Eagle the most beautiful car ever made.
I would say Jaguar. Some of the classic Jaguars were some of the most beautiful cars ever made in the
Yes.
universe.
Yes. And they were just phenomenal. So all of that to get flushed away and just like, oh, we want weird haircuts now. Because who wears their haircut like that? I mean, that's my question is, like, does this guy or girl, I think it's a guy, do you wear your hair like that normal, or did you do it just for this commercial?
It's funny
Well,
you went there, David. I'm 0% offended by these people as much as I'm offended by the font. The font pisses
really
me off.
pisses me off because
The font pisses me off.
Do you have the classic Jaguar font ready to pull
I
up?
don't. I'll find it. Hang on.
Okay, so go find
You
the,
guys can still
the
still see
classic
my screen. I'm
Jaguar
bringing it up
font
now.
and compare the two. We did this last week.
This is dangerous. Are you live Google searching?
Yeah.
We can-
Luckily, we both Google like
Yeah, luckily my
business
search
stuff.
history is pretty tame.
Dangerous.
if you look at my Google history, it's going to be like, oh, quantum mechanics this and business directions that.
I felt a little uncomfortable there for a second.
He felt a tingle.
All right, so here's
There it is.
actually
There's
someone else
the new
talking about it.
stuff.
Here's the history of the Jaguar logos. This is a good one. I'm glad I brought this up.
Look at that.
Here's the history of the Jaguar logos. I mean, you could put this very first Jaguar logo, maybe not the one with the SS. That's a whole different problem. The the classic Jaguar logo. Put that on a T-shirt. I would wear that T-shirt.
This one right here, the 2000 to 2012.
Yes.
See, so this is just now. Listen, I'm not a car guy, as you guys know. I'm not a lot of.
I'm not a car guy, Mike. I'm not.
And,
I'm a font guy.
okay. Maybe.
All right, hang on, Mike.
In faith
I see where you're
that they
going.
know what
Okay,
they're
but
doing.
look at. I see where you're going, but look at this. Look at this 2012 to
80 billion.
2021 font.
To me, I look at that and I think old guy car.
Okay.
Look at this new one. Look at this new one. Do you see the difference in just like cool versus like round and new for no reason?
Yeah, but don't they have? And this is a legitimate question. I'm not arguing.
No.
No, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Don't they have teams of people doing that research to determine
Yes.
what they
Yes.
want to see?
So
They
It's
should.
very
You
important.
would think they
West,
do.
I got this. It's very important to understand the difference between an actual data-driven and a history-driven communication or a change versus an ideological Ideological? Man,
Ideological.
ideology. Yeah. One more time.
Ideological.
There you go. I'm from West Virginia. Certain words just kick my ass. All right. This is how it works. Familiar, and there's another one too I was talking about today. They just really,
Like that looks like somebody died. That first
Yeah.
one looks like somebody died.
yeah, it's very bad. We'll give you
It's
that.
not great,
We'll
but
give
it's
you
better than the new one.
That died.
Also,
Those
bad
things-
name originally. Swallow Sidecar. Not the best name to start with.
Like if my dog died,
Hey,
I
for
I would place him
for
in the middle of that.
for Dick Raw, whatever his name is, that Swallow Sidecar might be up his alley.
Swallow.
I don't know.
Rawdong Lover.
Yeah, Raw Dog
Rodding
Lover.
Lover.
Can
Rodden
somebody explain to
Glover.
me the JLR?
That's I'm looking at that.
That one.
So that's Jaguar Land Rover.
The Land Rover.
Oh, that's-
Got it. So hey, Mike, I want to show you something. So it's funny in the video, the last words in their video. I don't know if I still have it up.
Nothing.
It said copy nothing, right? So I want you to look at the new font where it said copy nothing. Notice the A and notice the R. You see this font?
Yeah.
Do you remember the smart cars? They look like little clown cars. Do you remember those?
Oh, the two-person ones.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little two-person clown cars. They were called Smart Car. That was the brand.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
I want to show you the logo from Smart Car. It's the same font. They said copy nothing. The first thing they did, they copied the font.
Now,
Yeah, I'm impressionable. I'm just saying that you make a good point there.
to be fair, to put it out there,
Exact same.
the smart car
I-
that we
I
got
told you I'm
over
a font
here, we
nerd.
never got the Roadster. Now, would I have bought a smart car that we know is a smart car? No. Would I have
No.
ever actually owned a smart car Roadster? Maybe. I just,
You know what?
I just
I
think
will
putting
one
that thing
day
on a
own an
track
electric car.
and pushing it to the 87 mile an hour limit that it had would have been great.
I mean, I think calling anything smart. I just bought a microwave. I replaced my microwave.
Well, did you?
And I installed it myself.
Oh, I was getting ready to ask if
It
you need help.
myself. It was a little challenging, but I got it up there. It's a smart microwave. You know what it does? I get a text message when the microwave is done. And that was one of the biggest selling
That's pretty
features for
funny.
me.
That's awesome and funny at the same time.
I
It's
have
useless.
a smart oven.
What does it do?
I have a Samsung oven.
Oh, I hate Samsung electronics. Don't even get me started.
So you know what it does? I can set I can set the stuff on here. It's like, oh, you needed 350? 350, you got it. Now go turn your oven on.
Yeah, it's useless.
Like, what the hell are you doing?
All
Why
of
would
these
I why do I
smart
need these things?
electronics
Yeah.
like to say that they're smart,
Yeah.
but people like me are thinking, "Wow, I needed that. Like, I'll spend
No.
the extra $200 for the smart
No,
notifications.
no, don't need
I
it.
don't need to know when my microwave is done. I'm
Yeah,
standing
it's-
right here.
And it's beeping
It's telling.
loud as hell.
Yep.
Okay. If it gave me an option to turn off that beep locally so that people didn't know I was down here at 2 o'clock in the morning making popcorn, then maybe that smart
See, that's
application has
smart.
a use.
See, that is smart because I don't want to wake up my family with a microwave
Yeah.
beeping because I'm making something after the show and my kids are sleeping upstairs.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I come stumbling in drunk on a random
Wouldn't you
I don't
eat it cold? What is it, pizza?
I,
Just eat it cold at that point.
me? No.
You don't eat cold.
So I don't need a lot of leftover anything.
No, I don't do leftover. Thanksgiving ended. Not to get off track. My Thanksgiving ended, and anything that wasn't eaten is just thrown in the garbage. I threw out half a chicken. Yes, I ate chicken on Thanksgiving.
I love that. It's
Mashed
great.
potatoes, garbage, and they were probably the best mashed potatoes ever made. Garbage, because I'm not gonna. It's delaying the inevitable.
Yeah.
You're gonna put it in the fridge,
Hey,
and
Mike,
then
I want to
3
hear
days
your
later, you're gonna
opinion.
throw
So
'em
my
out.
family, so not my current family, my original family with like my parents. That came out really weird. So we always do it. I want to hear. So you had a chicken for Thanksgiving. We always did traditionally a turducken. What's your feeling of the turducken? I think I know, but I want to hear. I want to hear what you think.
I mean, the only time I've ever heard of a turducken was NFL. John Madden.
So it's where you get a turkey. So you know it's where you get a turkey and you get a duck and you shove it up its ass, and then you get a chicken and you shove it up the duck's
who's
ass,
got that
and it's
kind of
like a triple decker.
It's too much.
What do
time.
you?
It's a lot of work.
But it's 3 meats in one.
Why? Who needs that?
The more meat, the better.
I mean, you got.
I've heard no, I got the end. I've heard that about you.
Well, look, my pseudonym, by the way, is Raw Dung Lover. I work for Jaguar. You don't know that about me, David.
My friend Shaguar.
Jaguar.
All right, so it is Black Friday.
I'm a bad influence.
It is officially
It's
Black Friday,
So did
and
you go
I
out
think we
shopping
have
today?
a topic
You
to get
said
to,
you go
David.
to Lowe's and you just walk around.
Did.
Did you do it?
My favorite thing in the world. I go to
Oh.
Home Depot and I buy 120 batteries because the Home Depot deals on batteries on Black Friday is second to none. I got
Really, I didn't know
60
that. That's good to know. That's fair information.
60
I like it.
AA and 60 AAA batteries. I even
Hey, David, are we still on the Jaguar? Or are we back to the main screen?
Oh yeah, I know. I'm still on Jaguar.
on Jaguar.
You got to manually
And
switch
we're
us.
back.
All over talking. So
All
Home
right.
Depot, straight up Home Depot. I walk in. I usually go at 6. Today I went around 10. I walked in. What do you need? I don't need it. I'm just walking around. I got my coffee, and I'm just walking around Home Depot without a care in the world. I know exactly where I'm going. Batteries, because any middle-aged guy with kids needs batteries year-round. There's nothing
I
worse
get
than
it.
getting a toy or having something that they love or the Roku remote or something that doesn't work and you got to run out to buy batteries. So Black Friday, the only thing I shop for is batteries.
Yeah.
And today,
You know what? Yeah.
I bought something called the Battery Daddy, which sounds
Was that for you or your
it's
wife?
hey,
do they sell that at like Lion's Den or something?
and it's a case that you store your batteries in because I have them in a shoebox, literally a shoebox in the closet. Now they're all
Oh, okay.
organized. My 8-year-old and I, we sat there and we organized all the batteries, and I have enough batteries to last me till next Black Friday. It's the greatest.
Nice.
And it cost me $30.
So, you know what? I would love to see, and that's a great point you brought up. I would actually love to see the battery industries, their data on sales throughout the year. And I'll bet you're right. I'll bet right before Christmas, their sales are through the roof.
Yeah.
They have to be. Because think about all the Christmas gifts that kids get around the world that rely on these batteries. I mean, their sales have to be just bonkers come Black Friday.
Yeah, and now I know I'm comfortable in knowing that either it's a new toy or an existing toy, I got you covered.
Right. No, that's a good point. Look, we just buy our batteries on Amazon because they're cheaper, but they're also crappy batteries because we're buying them from Amazon, and they're the Amazon Basic brand.
I love
But
that brand.
you're right. What's that?
I love that brand because you can buy like 50 batteries for $1.
Right. I mean,
mean,
they
they're
don't last
not
very
bad,
long,
but-
but they're cheap. But that's a great point. I didn't even think about that. I would love to see that data, man. I'll bet their sales are just crazy.
That'd be very cool. That'd be very cool.
Well, I highly recommend the Battery Daddy.
The
Battery Daddy.
Yep. I have a
I'm
Sprite
not going to
Daddy as
Google
well.
that. I'm not going to Google that. I don't know what I'm going to come up with, and I
It'll
need to
mess up your
use
algorithm for sure.
it.
So
Right. My kids are going to see my search history and they're like, "Dad, I don't know what you're into, but I don't want to know."
Noah went to school, and when he was down there, he won some kind of bingo or something, and he got a scrub daddy.
That was the prize?
Yes.
What's a scrub daddy?
I mean, a scrub.
Oh, you need a scrub daddy.
Everyone needs a scrub.
You need a scrub daddy.
Listen. So
No, no, you
Now
do.
I'm
Hold
now
on.
I'm
It's for
skeptical. I don't
dishes.
trust
It's
you
for
guys
dishes.
enough.
it's a round sponge-like material.
It's got a
that's
smiley face.
used as a board. It's like sandpaper until you get it wet.
You're not making this sound any better,
Well,
Mike.
I'm giving you
Oh,
reality.
you gotta
Let
rub
me-
it a little bit,
you
and
gotta-
then it'll get wet.
You gotta squeeze it. You gotta run it under the warm water
With the
and it gets
tatas.
soft, and then you use it.
Mike, you're not helping here.
But here's the key: scrub daddies have holes in them. This isn't getting any better. I know.
You can put your fingers in
No,
those holes.
wait, what? Hang on, guys. Holy shit.
I'll
Is
just
this
send
so
you a
that
link.
hang on.
I'll send you a link. You've seen these things.
Hold on. I gotta point something out.
David, do you hear the problem that's happening here?
I hear it. I hear what I'm saying.
West is not used to drinking bourbon on the show. That's
No,
what the problem.
No,
is.
I drink
No, he's drinking tin
No,
cup.
so-
tonight.
What's
He's
the-
drinking tin
no,
cup. got tin
I
cup over
drink
there, you want it?
bourbon,
No, tin
but you
cup
have to
right there.
understand somebody who doesn't
I got the
understand the
tin cup and
context
the
of what
tin
you're
cup tin
saying.
are sitting over there.
Spin it.
No, somebody who doesn't understand the context. Oh, so is it actually for dishes, or are you guys fucking with
No,
me?
it's for dishes.
It's a sponge.
It is freaking awesome for dishes.
It's a sponge.
Okay.
which probably
All I
isn't-
heard was it has a couple of good holes,
It has 3
and
holes
it's
in
good
it.
for
And it
for
gets
running under
soft,
hot
and
water.
It's got a smiley face. You can stick your spoons in and out of it. Cleans them.
Yeah. Just ram your spoons up its
Cleans
holes. It's
them.
fine.
I'm
I
glad
will-
you said cleans them, because that it had you not said cleans them, it still could have gone in a completely different direction, Mike.
It's a certain kind of cleanse. Now I believe that was a Shark Tank product from back in the day.
Might have been.
Now
I
they
don't.
have
I never.
Scrub
I
You know
never-
what?
And Scrub Mommy.
You know what? Within 12 months, I'll be on Shark Tank. Not because I expect them to invest in what I'm doing right now, but only because I want to go on that show because I want the experience.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine who was on Shark Tank, and he's got quite the experience.
What was his business?
It was a Santa's Enchanted Mailbox, and given the time of year, I
Oh,
highly
cool. That's a
recommend
good idea.
Santa's Enchanted
So
Mailbox to anybody. So it's a mailbox. It's
Yeah.
genius, actually.
So we have a
Yes.
Santa mailbox here. What did that one do different?
So Santa's Enchanted Mailbox is a mailbox where you open it up, okay? You put a letter in. It comes with self-addressed stamped envelopes. You put your letter in the
Right.
mailbox. You close it and you raise the flag. Music will play.
Okay.
Google it. Music will play, and you open up after the music's done. You open it up, and the letter is gone. The mailbox has magically sent
Oh,
the
cool.
letter to the North Pole.
Yeah, I like it.
It's
I like it.
absolutely.
Did they
genius.
fund it? Did they buy?
They did not, but
Ah.
it's the exposure has been.
It's doing-
So the 50. Yeah. So that's the. So you either.
It's
Get
about the
you get
exposure. So is it
investment
doing
or you get
well?
the 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, so the exposure's good. He's got a licensing deal, and they're doing very well. But the
That's
whole
great.
concept, forget about all that. The concept of the actual from nothing to something, and watching him
Right.
go along, going on that journey has been remarkable. And now honestly, the TikTok influencer kind of experience has been even better, I would say, in some ways, because you get these influencers that have millions of followers that think that the product is great. Next thing you know,
Sure.
they're getting commissions and the sales are going. So
Sure. He should actually talk to us. We should talk to him about micro influencers. That's where the money is.
yeah, I'll set them up with you guys.
You don't want the big influencers. You want the micro influencers. You want 1,000 followers or less. It sounds weird. Sounds counterintuitive. I'm telling you, you're going to get 10x your investment.
Yeah, you're bang for the buck, which is return on investment, which is what you need to be looking at. Jaguar. Your return on investment.
Jaguar, man. I got faith in Jet West. This is going to come as a surprise to you, but I believe in their approach.
Gentleman's bet.
Hey, I have an idea.
$1.
Of what?
I have an idea.
$1. Okay, so I owe you $1 if it works. You owe me $1 if it doesn't.
It's what's working.
Okay, whether they file bankruptcy or not. I'm telling you, they are more. I will put a gentleman's bet, which is $1. By the way, for everybody out there, a gentleman's bet is $1. You're not
I've-
trying to bankrupt your friends.
Sure.
That
What's your bet?
They will file bankruptcy.
Within,
One
hang on,
Jaguar.
David. Within what
All right.
time
By
period?
when?
No, hang on. Wait, no, don't
Forever.
do the fist bump yet. Not yet. Not yet. Hang on, not yet. Within what time period
Yeah.
will they file
Motherfather,
bankruptcy?
you guys just want to dot every I,
I mean,
cross
you can
every
go to 20
T.
years if you want. I think 20 years from now, Jaguar will still be around.
You're going to give them 24 months. I'm going to say 24 months.
That's it.
24 months bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy in 24 months. I'll bet you.
They haven't made a.
$1 on that.
They haven't made a car in a year.
They don't need to.
They're a car. Wait. What's the
Sell T-shirts.
the guy on Iron Man?
Oh, T-shirts with a new logo,
Yeah.
Mike. I'm sorry.
What's the guy on?
Ask that tomorrow.
What's the guy on Iron Man that's like, that's a weapons company that doesn't make weapons? Kramer.
Yeah.
No, the business guy, the marketing guy.
And it's funny. So what's
That's a
his
car
face?
company that
Kramer.
doesn't make cars.
He actually is an investment consultant on one of the news channels. And the way you pull him out is from the Iron Man movie. He's actually on TV, David.
What's Iron Man?
He's actually on TV,
I
like
thought I had
weekly.
a shot of him actually knowing who I was talking about. It's Jim
He
Kramer.
hasn't seen Iron
Oh, I
Man.
know Jim Kramer, the crazy stock guy.
Yeah,
He knows Jim Kramer. He doesn't know who
so
Iron Man
that
is.
guy. So I didn't know you would know him from.
and think I'm gonna know from a movie? What's the matter with you?
Yeah, that was a very poor thinking on my part.
He knows
in
Jim Cramer, not
retrospect.
Iron Man. David, know your audience.
Know your audience right there. Hey, we're an hour and a half in. Let's get to our topic.
All
We haven't been
right.
talking about
All right.
No, we
So
have
before
not
we
even
go,
started
though,
our topic.
the
Our topic
gentleman's
tonight is
bet.
Black Friday,
So,
which I
hang
tried to
on.
get us into. Hey,
By the way,
today only, Black Friday sales on GoalieDadsUnited.com. You get 25% or 20% off.
Actually, through Monday.
Oh, through Monday, 20% off of any order over $50 on their
Ah.
website. You can get this lovely, and they now have fluffy friendly sizes, triple X for fat guys like me.
Fluffy friendly is what they call it
Fluffy
now.
friendly, that's what you would call it.
Okay,
Goalie
fair
Dads
enough.
United, and I just bought stand up so we can see this right here. So I just
the big
bought
one.
this one right here.
It'd be backwards.
I maybe, but I think it says I just remembering low key bussin' Sigma dad.
It's actually bussin' low key Sigma dad.
Ah, there we go. I got it. All
So
the
these-
words.
I
roll
don't
over.
know what bussin' or low key are, but I know
Nobody
Sigma.
does, but it's
I'm in.
provocative. So these are words that kids are using.
Yes.
The intent behind
That's
this
fair.
one.
Fair enough.
Jeff fought me on this pretty hardcore because he's lovey-dovey. Everybody's happy. Right? So
He's all like a ninja and all that.
the intent behind this is to embarrass the hell out of your kids.
Yeah.
No doubt. And we have mom
Is
and
bussin'
dad.
a good thing?
So bussin' is like old, like what we used to
That's
call, like,
badass.
badass or like sweet or
Sweet dude.
bussin' is
It's
like
wicked.
good, right?
It's
Low
wicked,
key
it's
is,
bad.
You know, pretty much stands like
That
low-key,
stands
I
on its
kinda
own.
like that, right?
Yeah, low key.
Bussin'.
Sigma is like
Wait, okay.
the greatest.
I know Sigma. Sigma's cool. If
Yeah.
you're a Sigma male, that's where you're at.
Right.
I get it. That's testosterone.
So
that's cool.
I put this as a demo on a sweatshirt, and I actually wore it over your house on Halloween when I was
Loved it.
when I was
Yeah.
in the duck pond.
Yeah. You're running the Sigma male running the duck pond.
And
Oh yeah.
And I did this solely to embarrass Zoe. Like there's no other reason for the existence of this shirt. And I wore it to coaching her soccer game, and all the kids were like, "That's awesome." Every kid we saw at Halloween was like, "That's a great shirt." And I was like, "Wow,
That's
there
cool.
might be an actual market for shirts that embarrass the hell out of your kids." 2 for 1. So that's what we got going on tonight.
Nice. It's
So
a
you can do that.
win-win. All right.
So now through
So
Monday,
go to
you get
Goalie
20%
Dad. Is it
off. Go to
GoalieDadsUnited.com?
All right. Go ahead.
Is it GoalieDadsUnited.com?
GoalieDadsUnited.com. So you can go to
Done.
Goalie Dads United. Hey, while I'm talking, pull it up on the news, and then I'll switch
Will
over to
do.
the news so people can see. So
Yep.
GoalieDadsUnited.com, 20% off anything over $50. If you're in the central New York area, you do have an option for like a free pickup option for delivery. If you're outside, it's not that much to have it delivered. It's like $6 to $8.
We're taking a bath.
You can get it delivered. You can get it delivered.
Yep.
And these things are freaking comfortable. The inside of them is that if you ever walk through Johann's fabric, and you reach out and you rub the stuff, and it's like, ooh, that's soft. That's what's inside of this. It is amazing. It is great.
That's awesome.
It
Hang
really
on,
is
the
good.
site's not
So do you
coming up
have
for me yet.
do you have their stuff pulled up?
Nah, it's getting there. My Wi-Fi has been janky lately. Hang on. I'm gonna try just googling it.
Hashtag let me chrome this. The DOJ storms down your basement.
Why would the DOJ make
So-
All right, here
Chrome?
we go. I
So
think
the
I can
DOJ.
pull,
So
pull it now.
that's actually surprising. So
that?
he's talking about like,
All right,
why
pull
would
up
the
the screen.
DOJ
I
do
got it.
this? And I'm saying I agree. Why would the DOJ? Usually the SEC is what would say, hey, you need to divest these things. Department of Justice. I don't understand why they're involved.
Hey, David, is it divest or divest?
So that we divest for. Oh, it took me a moment to get that.
Or divest? Is it divest,
It
or
depends.
divest?
Do you want to piss off an old past master or not?
All right, pull my share shared
There we
screen
go.
here.
There we go. There we are. Trending gear here at the Goalie Dads
Oh, that's cool.
United.com. Here we are.
You know what I like?
It's based
You know what I
around
like?
soccer, but to be honest, the ideology that goes around this
I like
is
this
based
game day.
around
That's pretty
all
cool.
sports.
I like this game day hoodie. That's pretty cool.
You all need drop down menus to different sports.
We're working
I like the game day, and you know what? I like that you added your
Yep.
logo to the back.
It's on the back.
And I
You
do the
can't see
same.
it, but it's back there.
I do the same thing with my T-shirts. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's wicked. So I love it.
It's
Love
subtle,
this
it's
hoodie.
cozy, but yeah,
Subtle.
it's more about, and you got some soccer dad, soccer mom. We have some other stuff dropping too.
So there it is right there. You got it right there. Go back and pull up the
bussin'
Sigma.
low key Sigma mom.
Yeah, that's it right there. So let's pull that up. That is that. So I actually ordered. So I ordered this on launch day. I was the very first
customer.
order for the Goalie Dads United, and on that I signed two because one of the things is when you own a business, you frame your first dollar. So I signed two $1 bills.
Signed?
It's signed.
I didn't even look at it. I just
Yeah,
put it in my pocket.
it's signed so that they can put them in their frame from their very first customer. And then today, I'm like, bussin' low key Sigma dad. That's all me. Although I am not low key. Bussin' highlighted Sigma dad. That's me.
Now, Wes,
There's
I don't
nothing
wanna-
low key about David.
I don't want to dictate this, but if you read the write up on that sweatshirt, and I gotta give full credit
Yeah?
to Jeff because I sometimes will throw items into our chat GPT and like send him stuff, and he'd be like, "That sounds like AI wrote it." I was like, "Yeah."
Hey,
So
all
he
right,
actually
hang
wrote
on, I'll
this
read
one,
it.
and I think it's absolutely gold.
Nothing says supporting kids today like wearing a bunch of nonsense words. No cap. I like you added no cap. My
That's
9-year-old son
awesome.
would totally understand what that means. This hoodie has high riz factor, for real, and lets everyone know that you're certainly not mid. I don't know what any of that means, but I like it.
That is
Nobody knows.
for
what it means.
nobody knows what it means because I mean, to be fair, so in that trivia thing that I was talking about earlier, one of the categories is slang terms throughout the ages. So we're gonna be talking about we're gonna have however many categories, 5 or 6 it is, or questions under that category. We're gonna have them slang terms through slang terms. It's just gonna be slang terms, but it could be slang terms from like 1802 and then slang terms from 2024. So it is going to be off the hook, also being a slang term.
Off the hook, also from the 1800s. Yeah.
So it's good. So I've put a lot of thought into your all's quiz, your trivia thing,
Can't
dude.
wait.
It's awesome.
David
So I
is
gotta
a
build a
real
whole
quizling.
PowerPoint and everything. It's gonna be great.
The problem is Jeff's really smart about actual like trivia and like retaining knowledge. And
This has nothing to do with actual
Okay,
intelligence.
then I got a shot.
Hey, Mike, if David's picking trivia questions, none of it will be anything that you guys have any remote idea of what it is or should be.
Then I'm in.
No. So I will actually vet because West, I'm gonna jump off the screen back to scene one. West is right because I can get in the weeds very quick.
Well, one, he can get in the weeds. Two, he's a ridiculous nerd. Three, he's kind of a dick.
What happened to 2?
Number 2.
Wait, did I skip 2? Did I go to straight from 1 to 3 to 4?
Hey, pour another drink.
You got 2. 2 was he's a nerd.
2 was number. He's a dick.
Yeah, 1. Right, yeah. So 1, in trivia, this man knows more random knowledge than any normal human should. 2, he's a big nerd. 3, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
On that note, Mr. Peterson in my 10th grade physical science class, I lost my actual science book the first day, which I lost on his shelf. So it stayed in the classroom the whole time. So I passed that class, but the whole time that I was in that class, he kept giving me this book that was it was titled Useless Knowledge. And it kind of got my gears going on all these other different things that are very entertaining to learn versus Punnett squares.
So Mike, he didn't have the book he needed for that class, but he did get to fight Ron Weasley for the one that was in the extra book closet there.
So he's not a Harry Potter guy, so he got none of that.
He got none of that
smiled,
reference.
But that was only to be polite. I thought Ron Weasley might have been a guy in his 10th grade science class, honestly.
Close enough.
No, Mr. Peters
All right,
was
we
awesome.
do have a topic tonight.
Mr. Peters was awesome. Great guy.
We do have a topic tonight. Ron
It
Weasley
is
aside.
9:37. We could try to get to our topic. I think we should because it is Black Friday.
You know what? We can blow through this. We got this. We can blow through this. All right. So,
All right, you're
brief
gonna blow
history
this.
Black Friday.
West, I count on you to blow this.
Well, I'm going to refer to my good friend Raw Dong Lover from Jaguar.
Do I want
The term Black Friday. So here's a brief history of Black Friday. The term Black Friday was not just about getting back. Most people think it's just about getting back into the black as far as recovering lost sales throughout the year. What it actually originally referred to was the 1869 gold market crash. Most people don't know that. During the 1950s, the Philadelphia police used the term to describe the post-Thanksgiving traffic chaos and crowds of the shopping coming out in the 1950s. It wasn't until the 1980s, more than 100 years after the original term was used, it was then talked about in terms of the black ink used to bring companies back into the black as far as making a profit for the year and not being in loss.
which is not actually
So-
true.
Which is not. It's actually kind of a wives' tale. Yes and no.
Yeah.
A lot of companies do rely on it to get them bring them back into
Yeah,
profitability.
it makes your
Um,
numbers.
Right. It does make your numbers for the year in a lot of ways. The last quarter, basically, it's the last quarter, not a single day. But let's get into the numbers, and I'll explain to you why that might be the case. Actually,
Nice.
here we go. All right. So Black Friday by the numbers in 2023. I'm going back to 2023 because obviously today is Black Friday in 2024. The numbers aren't in yet, but 2023, $9.8 billion billion was spent in a single day, an all-time high record
Today?
in 2023.
2020. So we can't count 2024 because we don't have the numbers
This
in.
is BS. Here's my problem with Black Friday today. I'm sorry,
Okay, go
Wes.
ahead.
I'm gonna
No,
jump in.
please.
When you go to today, or do you mean like current
I
times?
mean, like today.
Today.
Right.
Black
Today.
Friday used to be. Now I didn't like when they had stores open on Thanksgiving. Did not like.
I
that.
disagree
I
with
did
that.
not
I
like
will
that
not
either.
shop.
Hated
I
it.
will not shop on the holiday
That
day.
was the
Yes.
darkest part of Black Friday.
That was
They
the
did not-
blackest of Black
That
Fridays.
was the blackest of black. So what I don't like about today, Black Friday deals have been ongoing since the beginning of November. Easy. if
Correct.
not
I'm
earlier.
talking about the day.
So the deals. I remember going to Toys R Us, right back in the day when they existed, outside of a Macy's.
There still might be 3 or
Yeah.
4. Yeah, they
There's a
came
couple,
back to
but
a
most
degree.
of them,
We
most
still
of them,
own Toys R Us.
yeah, most of them are.
KB Toys, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Like,
KB toys is great.
I used to go.
Why?
there
I
being
used to.
like,
Yeah.
6 a.m. Black Friday, need to be there. Best Buy's lines used to be around the block.
Yeah,
Now
I was at H Greg once.
you don't need
which,
it.
you know, they're out of
Circuit
business.
City, you don't need it.
Circuit City. Yeah,
City
yeah.
was the
yeah.
best. So you don't need those things because the deals run all month into all the way into December. So the urgency behind going out on a Black Friday is absolutely gone. And I know this because I went to Home Depot, garbage, other than batteries. I went to Target, garbage. There's no doorbusters. There's no reason to be in the store. It's all online, and I don't like it.
Mike, we're getting there. You're getting ahead of me here.
He's getting there. He's getting
I'm
there.
gonna
And
write
I
this down,
and
but I'm
I
gonna go pee.
and I have a rebuttal for that part of the story. I can't wait till we get there.
You're getting ahead of me, Mike.
Oh, I can't wait
So,
till we get there.
first of all, I can speak to a few of those points. I actually, one of my first jobs was at KB Toys, and wow, I worked there. One of my first jobs was at KB Toys. I worked there during Christmas season, and it was a nightmare.
So Wes has
It was
had about
bad.
27
That was one of the
jobs.
that was one of the first things that planted a
Right.
seed in my brain that
I'll
said,
turn to you and talk.
never ever work in retail and never ever work for somebody else because it's a living hell. Also, I've worked for big brands during holiday seasons. I know the term doorbusters, and you're right. It's not the same today as it was even 5 years ago. But in 2023, $9.8 billion on Black Friday day was an all-time high record for the U.S.
Meh.
Yes, we are all sheep. All right, point number two. Nearly 800 million Americans went shopping during Black Friday weekend in 2023, both online and in store. 200 million Americans. I don't know what the current population of America is. I should have looked this up,
I think it's
but it's around
337.
300. It's around 350 million.
Yeah.
That is so 200 million Americans going shopping is bonkers.
So I did shopping today. Did you do any shopping today?
None. I
you?
refuse. I
bought
won't do it.
batteries.
Only
Oh,
because
you
I
bought
worked in
batteries.
retail for so long. I am
So-
jaded.
I spent just under $1,500 a day.
What did you buy?
Oh, and just on bourbon.
Well, so that would be. I actually do have that accounted in that number because I'm like, I went out with my wife and my daughter, and I spent well over $1,000.
On what?
And then I went out with my son later because he got home from work. I went with my son, and we went to a guitar store, which
Mhm.
is tempting for me.
Does Noah play guitar,
to be
or
like,
just you?
ooh, look at that pretty guitar. And there were a couple
Hang on,
there
did you
that
go
I
out there
was
for
like,
Noah
"Yeah,
or
maybe I
for
could
you?"
take it home. And then I went to Best Buy, and we bought
Why?
nothing at Guitar Center. We bought nothing at Best Buy.
No.
I didn't buy anything with him until I got to the liquor store.
Now, 5 years, 10 years ago, you would go to a Best Buy and they would be handing out tickets
Yeah.
for the TVs,
Yeah, I've-
the
Mike,
electronics, anything. Now
I
it's
used to
not
work
a-
at Best Buy.
It's not
No.
fun.
So
No.
back in the day, I worked at Best Buy,
You worked at
and
Best
they
Buy
had a
and
policy
TV.
where everybody who worked
When
in
I
the
told
store
you he had
must work
2,400
on Black
jobs,
Friday.
I mean, I'm not kidding.
You
man.
could
Dude's
you could
worked
not
every
call
day.
off you could not call off sick on Black Friday.
Yeah.
You could not call off if a lady was pregnant, she couldn't call off to give birth to a child that day. If you called off on Black Friday, you were fired immediately. No second chances.
So you
I
and I
worked at Best
worked for
Buy.
the same. This is something we found out. He and I worked for the same Best Buy at about the same time, and did not know each other.
Wait, in the
Yeah.
same store?
Because
Same
David
store.
was a salesman. Because David was a salesman in the TV department who was a huge dick, and I
Well,
did
I
not
mean,
talk to those
that's
people.
Par for
I worked in the
course.
camera department where I gave out valuable knowledge,
Yeah.
and people came back to me because they liked my info.
Where did you
Yeah.
work, West? What department?
Cameras.
Cameras,
Oh.
digital cameras.
Camera people were the best because they weren't trying. They were giving you information. The TV salespeople now. I'm a bias. I'm not biased at all. But the TV.
I'm a
sales-
bias. Wait. I'm a bias. I'm not biased at all.
I mean, they weren't. They were just trying to make a sale. I felt like
No.
the camera people. Like because I bought a TI
Sure.
3, I believe at one point, and the camera people at Best Buy were just the best.
That's the difference. So the people that get
Because
the
here's the-
cameras actually knew what the hell they were talking
Yeah.
about.
The
The
TV
people in
Well, here's the
TVs,
difference.
me,
Well, David,
we
here's
didn't
the
know
difference.
shit.
'Cause
They were just
everybody
like,
needs a TV.
hey, sell
So
this.
David, here's the difference. The TV department, at least when I was there, we may or may not have been there at the exact same time. When I was there, though, the TV people were on commission,
Oh,
and
no,
the
I didn't
camera
get
people were
commission.
not on commission. So the people who were on commission, they wanted to make that sale, man. They were pushing. They were hustling. People in the camera department, we were genuine nerds. Like we loved what we were
Yeah.
doing because we love the technology.
The guy who runs the Micro Center in Columbus, Ohio, which is probably one of my favorite. Oh,
I
Micro
love
Center
that
is
store,
doing
man.
that
I
for us.
love Micro Center.
Micro Center in Columbus, Ohio. He is a photographer.
Yeah.
Cameras are his thing. I have the cameras and stuff that I have because of him.
Right. Yeah.
But I also
love Micro
have
Center, man.
several TVs and drones and all kinds of other things that I've
Because
bought
he's a
out of that
good
store as
salesman
well.
too.
I have spent tens of thousands of dollars in that store. Tens
So
of
Black-
thousands. I'm probably close to $100,000, maybe $150,000 in that store.
They know their target audience, David.
Oh,
All
they
right,
do.
back to Black
What do you
Friday.
do?
In 2023 alone, shoppers, the average shopper in America shelled out an average of $321 per person in electronics, clothes, and toys on that day alone. 321, the average. That's the average. That's not the high. That's the average. Bonkers, man.
I bought
all
clothes
right.
today too. I bought long sleeve
US
t-shirts.
Clothes for.
I need t-shirts. I need long sleeve t-shirts. See how fat I am? I need long sleeve t-shirts.
Mike, he's buying all those Goalie Dads
I
United
mean, other
hoodies,
than
man.
Our stuff, I don't know.
And
what
I bought
you need.
Goalie Dads United merch.
Hey, Mike, by the way, I haven't seen you wear a single Underdog
No,
t-shirt,
you know what's
so
funny?
you got to get on that.
I literally yesterday was on your site, ready to go, and I wanted to check Jeff's size because I'm buying two. I'm buying one for me, of course, but also one for
Of
Jeff.
course.
But he didn't get back to me, so blame Jeff on that.
There you go.
But we will.
Jeff.
Mine is
That
consistency
jerk.
over time equals success. That's.
I think he wants that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
There you
everybody,
go.
I just
everybody.
needed his size.
So-
Once I get his size, he's like a medium. He's like one of those guys with muscles, but it doesn't have a whole lot of fat.
But he's very small. Yeah.
Well, he's lean.
Yeah.
We call that lean.
I don't
Yeah.
know. For me, if I'm him, I'm wearing a large, but he wants to show off his guns, I think.
So I'm out in Las Vegas, and I'm walking through the Four Queens.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I'm walking through the Golden Nugget casino out in Vegas, and
Just quick clarify.
I come through. I'm in the bathroom. I leave the bathroom. I walk out, and this guy literally just puts his hand, boom, on my chest, stops me dead, and I'm like,
Do I have to fight this
"Hey, I'm drunk."
guy?
And then he drops his hand down, and he was like, "I need to read your shirt." And it is the consistency over time equals success shirt, because you
There
and
you
I
go.
had done a show earlier that
Mhm.
night, and he was like, "That is amazing. That is amazing. I love that."
true.
So I spent probably 25 minutes talking to this guy about the Underdog journey and give kind of what we do, how we do it, because what we do and how we do it are very different. If I just told
Oh
people
my gosh.
what we
Yeah,
did,
don't follow what we do. Usually people say, don't listen to what I say, watch what I do.
yeah,
We're the opposite. Don't watch what we do.
listen to what we say. Don't watch what we do. We drink. We're gonna encourage you to drink a lot of liquor, and
Don't do that.
and you a little bit of work. And to be honest, actually listen to what we say and watch what we do, because drink a lot of liquor and do a little bit of work. I mean, to be honest, I mean, isn't that the dream?
I mean, before I met you, I didn't like bourbon.
Bourbon's awesome.
David does that to people.
and
Yeah.
Now I do.
Bourbon's awesome.
So. kudos.
David is what we call an enabler.
All right.
Actually, that's our next T-shirt, David. That's our next Underdog T-shirt.
Enabler.
The
Enabler.
Underdog journey. Hashtag it.
No.
Hashtag enabler.
No. Just one word. Enabler. That's it.
That's it. That works.
Enabler.
That's our whole.
That's it.
Okay. To be honest. Okay. Let me talk to you right now. We're gonna tell nice and close.
David's getting real.
We're gonna get real. We're gonna get real quick here. The whole idea of this whole entire show is to enable and empower and encourage you to start your business. West and I, we have our business. We do not monetize our channel. This is not where we get money
Right.
from. Intentionally, we do not monetize this channel. We want you to do it. We want other people to do it. We have other things. We're doing our stuff. And if you ever say, hey, I need more data on that, reach out to us. One, if not both of us, are going to deep dive into your business and give you almost a step-by-step process to get where you want to go. So
That's it.
yes, we are.
And if you think this,
actually
and if you think
enablers.
this stuff, and if you think the stuff that we talk about,
Oh
is
my
just
God, I
kind
got
of
a
BS,
t-shirt. West,
we are.
enabler over influencer.
That's funny. That's a good one.
That's great.
So anybody who
Trademark
thinks that
David
stuff we talk about is
Leffenwell.
kind of BS because we're all talk. Honestly, things are happening on the back end that we're not talking about that
On
will
purpose.
completely turn everything on its head. We could easily market this as far as, hey, look what's happening over here, this big stuff happening over here. But it would almost undermine what we want to do over here as far as just do it.
Yes.
Don't do it because of the rewards. Don't do it because of the riches. Don't do it because you're going to build this big thing over here. Do it because you love it. Do it because it's the right thing to do.
So I'm
Do it because
I'm gonna walk back
if
slightly.
it were easy, anybody could do it.
I'm gonna walk back slightly. Don't do it because of the riches and everything forward, but do it for the rewards.
But the rewards are different for people.
So when you guys launched your website,
Just a
how
little
fucking
bit.
awesome was that?
It was the coolest. Like
That's the reward.
the feeling. I don't care about how many sell.
Yeah.
doesn't
Right.
mean
It's not.
anything.
But so like the reward though, Mike, isn't like becoming a billionaire. The reward is like the achievement of actually having done it and done
This
it
is
well.
mine. I did this.
Jeff and I talked about
Right,
that
that's
the
the
other day.
reward.
That's awesome.
And it's straight up, wow, we did this. Like, it's done. Right? We're always gonna
Right,
grow it
exactly.
and, like, build community and all that stuff, but like,
And that's the reward you should want.
the bones are in place to make it what we want it to be, and that is, honestly, you guys have had a large part in that.
Right, and that's the reward you should want. Like, it's almost, I almost like, so some of the like the hustle porn guys who are like, hey, you need to work 20 hours a week, or get home from your day job and work until 2 a.m. every single day, and you're going to build this billion-dollar company like I did. I feel like those guys, not only are they hustle, like they're selling hustle porn, but they're selling a dream that doesn't exist for 99.999% of people. You should do it because you love the reward of the achievement of having done it. Right? You should love the product, you should love the technology, you should love what you're doing regardless of what form that takes. If you're doing it, you should love it, and that's your reward, right? Like, there are a lot of things happening in the back end I wish I could talk about here, but I'm not doing it because one, that's something else. Secondly, it's almost undermining what we're talking about here because this is about doing it because it's the right thing, because you should do it
It's what you wanna do.
regardless. It's what you want to do.
It's you. It's nobody else. It's you just making those decisions. And it's that is the amazing part of it. And that's literally when we started, literally the first show, we might be live. I don't know. Are we live? I don't know. We might be live. Hello. My name's Wes Carnahan, and this is David Lovinglaw.
Why couldn't you be David in that point?
No, because that's how it went. That's a historical document. We can go back and look at it. So
Bullshit, West.
it absolutely was. It absolutely was. Go back and watch the first episode. Trust me, it was terrible.
It was bad. Mike, watch our first episode. It was rough, man.
It was rough.
But
Almost as rough as the intro to this one. So since
Today was
then,
rough.
as it was before you
Today
found
was
the
rough.
volume button.
since then, the
We needed a
cameras
mic
and everything
today,
have
or
actually
a-
behaved.
Yeah.
And now they're going to screw up because I said that. But they've actually been pretty good tonight. But the whole idea of the whole entire idea of the show was not for West and I to make any money off of this at all, but it was to encourage and empower other people to take that step in their lives and in their business. And with the underdog, the underdog, I've said this like 7 times today. The Goalie Dads United, you guys just launched, and you launched just before Black Friday. And even though they did that, they were prepared for Black Friday with a discount code, 20% off anything over $50 on their website.
I like it.
Great.
I like it.
GoalieDadsUnited.com.
Perfect. Hey, Mike, before we move on, though, real quick, who's your printer? Who does your print-on-demand T-shirts?
So we're doing them ourselves.
You do this. That's even better.
So
Really?
Wait a
You
minute.
actually print
We-
these and ship them out.
UPOD?
yeah. So right now, as it stands now,
I didn't know that, Mike.
we are
I like it even more
securing-
now.
and it changes. So your 3XL was.
Because I'm fat.
I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. We don't shame on this show. We call it fluffy friendly.
Fluff-
The fluffy version is a little different than the one I'm wearing. Mine happens to not be that big. Just by happenstance.
Mine happens not to be fat
Yeah,
ass.
he weighs about as much as my left leg does.
But here's the thing. So we're designing the logos. We're printing the logos. We're getting them. Well, I lied. We're subbing the printing of the transfers. But in terms of securing the shirts and putting the logos on the shirts, that's all us.
Really?
So, yeah.
That you don't use
So it's
print on
about a
demand.
5
You do
to
this
7
yourselves.
day turnaround. So we're not Amazon.
Sure.
We're not turning this around in 2 days. You're gonna have it, David. Yours took about 7 days. And
Didn't
then
even
Penny
didn't even
was sick.
notice.
That screwed me up.
Oh, dude.
When she
Mike,
was
that's
sick, that
practically
screwed me
artisanal. I love this. That's you're doing this yourselves. I like it even more now.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's
up.
awesome.
So
I actually like my shirt more now that I know that.
Yeah, and
Right.
The thing is, we have a couple different versions of the sweatshirts and everything else, and to me, like this, what I'm wearing now is what I would call an athletic fit. If I had to redo this
Mhm.
version, it wouldn't be a youth. an adult medium. It would be more like a large. But this is what we're learning. We're buying the product and then we're putting the logos on ourselves. Yeah.
Sure, that's great, man. I love that. I like that even more now. That's great. So
Yes.
goaliedadsunited.com is where you get these.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all right, so now you remember I mentioned in 2023, $9.8 billion was spent
In one day.
last Black Friday in 2023. So in 2023 also, 5.5 billion was spent just on Thanksgiving Day. Now I don't go shopping on Thanksgiving Day, but
We'll do it.
$5.5 billion dollars. Mike, this goes back to your original point where you say that it keeps going throughout the whole month.
Yeah.
Black Friday keeps creeping up earlier and earlier. And this is really just going back to that,
Yep.
to where you don't have to go shopping on that Friday. You can go shopping any other time, and most retailers will match that same price. That's what most people
Yeah.
don't understand. But in
The retailers are
2023,
shooting themselves in the foot on that, by the way.
$5.5 billion just on Thanksgiving Day. Holy
hate it.
moly.
I wish it was zero. Like to me, Thanksgiving Day
Yeah, I won't go shopping that day.
should be nothing.
hmm
Like
Gro- gro-
absolutely nothing. For
Grocery
us,
grocery stores for random guys who like, hey, you want to go to the grocery
no,
store?
if your buddy calls you at noon and says, "Hey, you need anything from the grocery store?" Like hypothetical, of course.
Hypothetical that just happened yesterday.
That should be all in. Spend your money. But in terms of like the Targets, the WalMarts, the home, whatever it
Right.
is, closed. If it was me, I would close online sales till after 10 o'clock at night on Thanksgiving. You want to
Yeah.
sell something online, you do it after 10 o'clock. Our sales didn't go live till after 10 o'clock. I despise the
So even you,
eat
hey,
dinner
oh,
and
Mike,
shop.
hang on. So, Mike, you're taking to a more extreme.
Yeah.
So you got on my next point. My next point was that 77% of shoppers prefer online shopping during that weekend versus in store. You're saying even online shopping.
I've been waiting for
Are you
this
saying
one.
even online shopping?
Wait. Before you can say anything else for anybody, where was this survey taken?
This is from Google. This is, I'm sorry, Adobe Analytics.
It was taken
It's not a survey.
online.
It's Adobe Analytics. It's actual retail analytics data.
But it's taken online.
No, it's not a retail. It's not a survey,
It's
David.
taken online.
It's not a
It's the
survey.
bottom line. It's taken online. It is not.
No, it's not a
77%.
survey.
No. I was at Kohl's
David,
today.
it's not a survey.
Trust me.
David,
These people want to
David, it's
be
not
in
a
these
survey.
stores. They want to find the deals.
David,
They want to do the stuff
It's
On
not a
Black
survey.
Friday.
on Black Friday.
No, it's not a survey.
Not
You
on
guys
Thanksgiving.
don't understand what
Yes.
a survey. You guys don't understand what not a survey means. It's not a survey. This is sales data.
Of online sales versus in-person sales on
Online sales
Thanksgiving.
versus in-person sales. 77% was online.
Nope.
It's not a survey.
He's shaking his head.
No,
so,
I'm shaking my
Mike,
head.
you're saying. So, Mike, you're saying that you even disapprove of online sales during those days,
I don't
during
like
the holiday.
I don't think. I think if you want to listen, if you want to,
That was the light on the guitar up there saying, "Fuck it, I'm done."
you have a timer set.
I'm
You
out.
don't know that Mike's
I'm
here.
done.
So, to me, Thanksgiving is not a day for buying anything. You want to do Thanksgiving
Even on like
sales,
Amazon,
you do it
where it's
10
like
o'clock
faceless.
at night or later. Before 10
Okay,
o'clock,
fair enough.
if it was me, if I'm Target, I don't even allow anybody to buy anything on Thanksgiving until 10 o'clock at night. Kids are
Even
in bed,
online. Even online.
even online. Shut it down.
Okay.
Because
That is a new extreme. I personally agree that I think the retail locations should be closed.
Yep.
I hadn't considered closing down online sales
shut it down.
through
Because
that time period.
what's going to happen at 10 o'clock if all day you know what's happening? You know what the sales are, right? You're advertising the sales. You know what they
Mhm.
are. You can't get them until 10 o'clock. Your
Fair enough.
desserts are going to be done.
Okay.
Your coffee's going to be done. The people
So you're going to have time with your family, which is what
you're
it's
gonna-
supposed to be.
And most importantly, you're going to have time with your family. Because what drove me the most nuts, now I'm 45. So 10 years ago, when my kids were born, a little bit longer than maybe 12 years ago, right? Like the Best Buy, the Home Depot, they weren't open on Thanksgiving.
They weren't.
Then everything opened on Thanksgiving at like 6
So then it
o'clock.
so then
And then
it
everything
started. Well,
shifted.
so it was crazy because it started as like, hey, we're gonna open at 6 a.m. on Black Friday, and
which was
then
great.
the next person said, "Fuck you, I'm opening at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 3 a.m.,
And that's
2
how it
a.m.,
happened. It was a
1
creep.
a.m., midnight on Black Friday.
Right.
We're gonna be
And
open.
now
We're
it's
gonna be
the whole
rocking it
month
from
of
the Delta
November.
to the DMZ, and then next thing you know, we're open on Thanksgiving Day.
I hated that. When they
Well, and
opened
now
on
it's the whole
Thanksgiving,
month of November.
And
nuts.
2020, of all the things I hate about it and all the things that were absolutely screwed up about it, that is what gave us the reset.
Yep.
Now, one of the things
Mhm.
I've noticed this year is ChatGPT has been in overdrive creating articles for writers who, well, let's face it, suck. That say Home Depot is not going to be open for 24 hours and Lowe's is not going to be any help. And I fell for it the first time, and then I started looking at it and saying, "Hey, is this all the same?" And yes, it was. So basically, it was all these other businesses. XYZ business is not going to be open for 20. They're going to shut down for 24 hours, and their competitor is not going to be any help. And I looked into this and I went through probably 15 of these different sites, different articles, just to make sure they were all the same. So, OpenAI, sorry, you're not AI. You're not artificial intelligence. You're a language model at best. So
Mike, this
what
is
they
what
would
it divulged
say,
down into. Okay,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
no. What they would say is they're closed on Thanksgiving, and so is the other place. That is the actual headline. But they tried to drive it as this place is closed and that place is not going to be any help, as opposed to people took a holiday, which in reality shouldn't even be news. But they put it in there anywhere because James McFadden, if that's actually a real person, I don't know. Any names or likenesses or images is completely accidental. I just made that
Run
name
on
up
Glover.
because you put it in ChatGPT and it's programmed to say these certain things. I seen that exact reply 15 times.
You
15
were
times.
using different prompts from what I was using. All right, so back to
ridiculous.
Black Friday data though. Amazon alone, not counting all the other retailers in the world,
Right, the amount of stuff
Amazon
Amazon's a
alone
lot.
sold over 10,000 items per minute
Yeah, but it's not their items.
on Black Friday alone in
I
2023.
spent a lot in Amazon.
I won't do it.
Holy moly.
ton.
You know what I buy from Amazon? Toilet paper and paper towels. You know why I buy toilet paper and paper towel? I don't know why I sounded like I was Jerry Jones right there.
Because
You
you're
know why I
45?
buy
Because you're
Wait,
45?
wait. We gotta explain to West who Jerry Jones
No,
is.
he's the owner of the Cowboys. All right, he's from the South, West. It's fine.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
He's from
He
the
sounds like an
Southwest.
old
You know
guy.
why I buy toilet paper and paper towels from Amazon? Because I have severe anxiety when it comes to anything, believe it or not. But when it comes to going to the grocery store and making the people work harder than they need to do, when you buy like a big pack of paper towels, do you want it in a bag or do you not want it in a bag?
No, you don't put it in a bag. You can't fit it in a bag.
But there's too much work. So for me, I don't buy the family size box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I buy the normal size box because the family size
Mike.
box is probably going to screw up the bagging.
Mike, you don't understand the power moves.
What are the power moves?
The power moves. This is something you learn when you go
We
to
need
a
to strike.
really.
We need to strike out the Sigma on his shirt.
I'm considering.
The power
I'm a
move.
considerate
So,
fan.
Mike, the power move, the
Bustin'
ultimate
low-key
power moves. So, first of all, hang on. First of all, everybody with children watching, please stop watching. Let your children leave the show. I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If your children start watching, it's your own fault. You're a bad parent. Mike, let me inform you about the power move. The power moves is truly the most Sigma you can ever get. Okay? This is the most ultimate lumberjack Sigma you can ever get. When you walk into a store, and you don't need them, but you do it just to prove a point, you get the most massive Magnum condoms you can get the biggest bottle of lubricant, and you don't go to the self-checkout. No. You go to the regular checkout where somebody has to scan these, and you look them right in the eye the entire time.
So
Right in the eye.
un
You
momento,
don't
say
look,
por
you don't look
favor.
down.
Because
David, no.
I-
Hang on,
no, no,
David.
no,
No, por
no, hang
favor.
on. I've got a
hang
story
on,
for
David.
this.
No, por favor.
I got a
You
story
don't
for
look
this.
down to
All
the
right, go ahead.
side. You don't
Wes
look
is
off to
setting
the.
up-
All
You
right,
don't look
Wes,
over
go
here.
for it. I got a story
You
for
look-
this.
No, hang on. You look them directly in the eye the entire time they're checking out your giant Magnum condoms and your giant bottle of lubricant, and maybe is the cheapest vodka they carry.
Look at me.
You don't smile. You don't giggle. You don't smirk. You give them a serious look
Do you
right in
grunt?
the eye the entire time. That's the alpha move.
I could do that. I could do that because no matter how big the Magnum.
No.
Hold on,
I'm going to
hold
video this.
on.
I'm
The
going to
Magnum
video this.
and the big box of lube is gonna fit the bag perfectly. I don't care about that. I care about the stuff that's too big for the bag. If so,
Hang
That's
on.
what she
Now,
said.
Mike.
Amazon,
Now, Mike.
subscribe
While
and
you do
save.
this, Mike, you have to be wearing a P Diddy T-shirt.
It's fine. I'll do it. There's no party like a P Diddy party. Okay.
Well, we know that means something different now.
So
Actually, it means exactly what we all thought it meant to begin with.
I use Amazon
It's
for
true.
my paper towels and toilet paper because I can buy the biggest things. And frankly, I guess what it's saying about me, I don't care about the UPS guy as much as I care about the Wegmans, the grocery store clerk who
That's
doesn't know what's
that's
this stuff
Kroger for the rest of the country.
for the rest of the country.
Wegmans, Kroger, Ralph's. I get it. Yeah.
Ralph.
Anyway, all right. We got a weird. We're moving on. All right. So, Amazon 10,000 a day. So, here's the thing. So, Black Friday is not just an American thing. So, typically, Black Friday is the Friday immediately the next day after
back.
Thanksgiving. However, what most Americans
Hello.
tend to forget is Thanksgiving is just an American thing. The rest of the world doesn't know what that means or care. However,
There's a
Black
Thanksgiving
Friday.
in Canada.
Yeah, it's just not today.
Well,
It's
it's a different
earlier.
date.
Yeah.
It's a completely different date. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Canada, it's America's hat. They don't count.
Boxing
They have
It said
Trudeau.
It doesn't count.
All right. So in the UK, Black Friday, American Black Friday, has actually overtaken the British Boxing Day as the biggest shopping day ever.
Which is December
here's-
26th for people who don't know.
No. Hold on. Is British Boxing Day December 26th?
So British Boxing Day and Canadian Boxing Day are the same, which is December 26th.
So what do they
Yeah,
shop
December.
for?
So
26th?
British Boxing Day, I didn't know what that meant until I lived there, and I was like, "Do you?" I'm not a big fan of boxing. Like MMA is kind of cool, but it wasn't really a thing back then. So in China, here's something cool. So
I'd
look,
like to see
like I mentioned,
West in an arm wrestling competition.
I think I could.
David, you'd be surprised, man.
You think?
I'm ripped.
I mean, David.
So
will
all right,
think you,
so
but-
now remember, I mentioned in 2023 the all-time record for Black Friday was
Hat on back.
9.8 billion. Now remember this number: 9.8 billion was the U.S. record for a single shopping day. China had their equivalent to Black Friday.
No. Wait. No, wait. He can't say China. We have a president-elect who loves to say this word in the most
China,
absolutely
China.
terrible and offensive way possible.
China. Okay, China has
Come on,
the
man. This guy sounds hilarious when he says that.
that's
China
what you like.
has their equivalent to Black Friday, which is called
China.
Singles Day. I don't know what that. I don't know why it's called Singles Day, but it's
Never
Singles
idea.
Day. It's November 11th. It's their Black Friday. They make us look like amateurs. In a single day,
86.
China spent $84 billion in a single
That is
day
10
versus our
almost-
$9.8 billion.
That's 9.2 of our Black Fridays.
Unbelievable. Also, Mike is known as Rain Man in most circles.
It sounded like it.
I mean, I was confident.
If you drop a box of matches,
Nice.
man, Mike is on it. You drop a
He
box
did.
of matches, Mike cocks his head to the side. He's like, 158 matches.
like Rain Man.
That's 9.754.
Somebody has a calculator. It sounds good.
Yeah, Mike and Tom
9.21
Cruise.
gigawatts.
Yeah, and you have to say gigawatts.
That's
Wait,
insane.
Wait, that's a movie reference. He may not.
Yeah,
get
Mike
it.
has not seen the movie. He
That's
doesn't
what
know
it is, sir.
gigawatts.
Oh, he got it. He got it.
As I am Rain Man. I go
Oh, he's only. Well, look. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about Michael J. Fox. I feel bad for his current situation, but Mike is a big fan of people with special needs. So he knows Rain Man. He knows Back to the Future. I get it. That got dark,
Wait,
man. I'm
Michael
sorry
J.
about that. I had to
Fox
go
or
there.
Mike me.
Michael J. Fox.
Right.
I don't know where I'm going with
I
that.
don't know what's
All right,
happening.
so
I don't know how to
1.21
recover from
gigawatts of weirdness
Like-
happened here a
like,
second
I don't know
ago.
how to recover from that. Waka
There's
waka
no
waka.
recovery, much like Jaguar.
There we go. All right, and we're back.
Hey, it's a callback.
I just wish
Ouch.
things could go back to the way they used to be, which is getting in your car at 6 a.m. and actually having a purpose in life instead of just copping out and sitting on your couch surfing the internet.
I love
like
work from
being in
home.
person. Give me a
What are you talking
reason
about,
to
Mike?
go
I
to your
love work
store.
from home.
And I didn't see it
Work
today.
from home.
I didn't
Work
either.
from home is great.
I didn't either.
Reward me from getting up at 6 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, I've camped out overnight at well, I did it at H Greg, which I'm glad they went out of business, out of business now. But I bought my first plasma TV from them. Plasma TV.
You had the burn in from the ESPN bottom line.
So luckily, I sold my plasma for the exact dollar that I bought it for a year later.
Who'd you sell it to?
Some dumbass.
Why would you? What do you
Because
sell
I'm
it
a
to?
salesman.
Why are you selling it? Just get
Because
rid of it.
I can sell it for that price, buy something that's lower now at a better price point.
I got a question.
And there we
Wes, I'm
go.
sorry, this will relate to you, West, too, as well. So, if your kids outgrow toys, do you give them away or do you sell them?
It depends. It depends. There are certain things that are quintessential into the history, and those are the same things.
Save 'em, but if
Everything
you broke
else,
something,
everything
you just-
else.
do you sell it or do you give it away to somebody?
So I would prefer, me personally, I prefer to give it away.
Me too. I don't
I-
want to sell it.
I
If
prefer
buy
to give it
something for
away.
$100. This is just my theory.
Wes is over there like,
You buy Wes's kids do, right? So my
No, I
kids
have
are getting old.
opinions. It's just easier not to talk.
When they
When David's
outgrow
talking.
something and they don't need it, I'd much rather
Right.
give it to somebody than make $20 off of it.
yeah.
No, so I don't know the laws in New York. You guys are in New York. I'm in Ohio. So in Ohio, the maximum charitable write-off in Ohio is $600. So what I do
I don't write off
is
anything.
so I prefer, instead of selling it, man, I hate garage sales. That sounds like living hell to me. What I'll do is I'll save all my random junk, and instead of like haggling over 25 cents, I'll give it to Goodwill. When you give something to Goodwill, they'll usually just give you a blank receipt back to say you fill in the rest, and I will use that for my tax returns. There's the fireworks. I'll use that for my tax returns for the maximum of $600, and you can do that annually. So what we do is I personally like to save things, give it to Goodwill, and write it off for $600 a year. It's easier than selling stuff. It's easier than just giving stuff away. And you kind of are because it's Goodwill, and you get $600 back on your tax returns.
Nope. I'd really give it. So I take in a dually napkin. I get my $600 from that. And then I would honestly much rather give away to anybody else, because I believe the best charity is direct charity. And
I don't know
not
people who
and
need
I
stuff
hate
that
the
bad.
word charity in that event, or
But
in
here's the
that
problem,
in that
David. Here's the
Venn.
problem. Most people don't, even though they're too polite to say they don't want it, most people don't want other people's random junk. Now, you give
Well, I don't
away a
want it
lot of
junk.
really good
I
stuff. You give
gave
away
one of his
bourbon.
daughters random shit this
You
week.
give away
this
bourbon and
year.
cigars and daughters. I get it. But most people have like
It's cool.
random old toys and
Anything else,
clothes.
I just throw away.
Most people have like random old toys and clothes that nobody
He's only
really
gonna play.
wants. So what you do is you give them to Goodwill and you get the write off as well.
I see. I don't love when my wife wants to get rid of stuff. It's Goodwill. Like it's find the trailer.
And
in
you
the
get the
grocery
receipt, and
store
hopefully you
parking
use the
lot
receipt
and
for your
just
tax returns.
dump it. I don't even take the receipt.
You're missing out.
I'll get a receipt at one point, but I don't do it. I would rather get. So we have a neighbor down the block, right in between us, that has she's probably 5, 6 years old. So when my kids
Okay.
outgrow the clothes, Zoe
Right.
brings it down the block, and they can throw it out. I don't care if
Sure.
they throw it out. I just feel good knowing that, hey, go through this bag of clothes, and if you like anything, keep it. If not, get rid of it. I
Yeah.
just feel
Right, and
better
that's the
that
thing.
way.
Look, and that's something else. Look, if somebody else can genuinely use your stuff, that's one thing. But we don't know anybody who can genuinely
Well,
use
if you don't
our
know
stuff.
yeah.
Nobody.
Wait,
So then
wait.
that's
Yeah,
the
nobody.
right-
We don't have anybody
I'm
who
with
would
Wes on
use
this
our
one.
stuff.
Wait, I didn't hear. I didn't hear. Well, I might argue with him, but it depends on what he says. We don't know anybody that can genuinely use what?
Our old used stuff.
Okay. Like the Underdog Journey shoe stuff?
No, like my kids' old used stuff. You're talking about toys and clothes.
What?
As far as Underdog Journey's old used stuff, we're talking about whatever platform we're using to stream this show.
Hey, tonight it has behaved very well.
This is great. Now that David found the volume button, I could hear Wes. This is
Yeah, the
wonderful.
volume. Yeah,
There you
the
go.
volume button was a lot because I had to delve through like 7 screens to
I mean,
get
it's just
to it.
the volume up. What I saw.
Yeah, well, that's it. But it was like 7 screens to get to that
I mean,
volume up button.
It was literally the volume button.
I got a volume button here, and I had it. It was like here, there, and then all the way up, and it didn't do shit. Freaking Max.
I think they call it being an old man and not
It's
knowing
even
how to use
louder.
technology.
It is.
You just made it even louder.
It's even better
It's like
now.
a whole new world. I feel like Aladdin.
Oh, that's good stuff. Hey, what else we got in our topic?
That was it.
Thank God.
I could keep going about Black Friday if you want.
I was just thinking.
I keep going about Jaguar.
I just found Uber.
Oh, Uber Eats.
This was a revelation for me.
So what was Uber Eats? So Uber was a 2008.
I'm thinking about doing it right now. What's your address?
What about Uber?
2008 West.
I can talk about Uber. What do you want to know about
So
Uber?
that's what I was thinking about. 2008, during the last economic depression world or the time frame, was the 2008.
Oh, that was one of the big companies that came out of the 2008 dip. Yeah, that's right.
And that was one of the things that came out of it was
Oh,
Uber.
no. Oh, sorry.
Right. So when economic times are down, that's when you found. You
So-
buy low, you sell high, and
Well,
that's
I'm
it. When the
thinking-
economy
I'm
dips,
thinking that,
you buy in.
Wait, you have a son.
So I do, but I was thinking we could run down to Bear Creek, text it. I could text Mike and be like, "Hey, brisket sandwich and
I
mac
thought
and cheese."
It's Bear Creek.
I'm sorry, we're over here talking about our late night dinners now.
You guys are ordering dinner. I'm all right. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. It's been fun. It's been weird, and as usual, we'll be the Underdog Journey.
It has, and I can't wait. Hopefully next week we either have a new platform or
No,
a
we
new...
will have something different next week. We will not be using this. Whatever is happening with OBS right now, either we have it solidified and locked down, or we're on to something else. We'll be on to something else next week.
I'll tell you-
let's
I'll
just
tell
make
you,
that
I
agreement
think
now.
OBS. So I think OBS is like, oh shit, they're looking for something else, and they have kept your videos spot on.
Dead on today.
You've
Yeah, it hasn't been
dead
jumpy at
on,
all like it
Mike.
has been in the past.
Yeah. So I don't know if they fixed whatever the problem was. Maybe we'll give them a try
They didn't
next
fix
week.
it. It's open source. They haven't fixed anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I was just giving our people some story time. Parlez-vous en français, s'il vous plaît? So yeah, well, yeah, not anymore. Well, red, white, and blue America. That's what's there back. Oh,
Isn't that France?
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, wait, I can't say this. You gotta say it.
In the meantime, I've been Wes. This guy's been David. We will see you guys. That was guy over there was Mike, and we will see you guys next week on the Underdog Journey. Go to goaliedadsunited.com for your amazing swag that David's wearing right now.
Get it right now.
And we will see you guys later. Out.
Au revoir.
David, you got to switch.
I gotta switch the button. I gotta push a button.
There,
This button?
Push the buttons. There you go. That's the one. We're out. Mike, our show has been getting progressively weirder, so we got to apologize for whatever's happening right now. There you go. Are you still doing the Goalie Dads United weekly, or yeah? That's awesome though, man.
Fantastic, thrilling, spastically infatuated with the in-between. The ups, the downs, the curves and the rounds. I bring it to your city or your hometown. I go back in time when the feeling was fine. Funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime.
Yeah, so when he does, I think it's like a peace sign. It gets fireworks. No, it's peace sign. When he does it, there you go. No, that's confetti. The thumbs up gives the thumbs up. Yeah, it's fireworks. There you go. Oh, yeah, the hearts. The hearts. So, Mike, it doesn't do that with me. It only does that with David. Mike, it doesn't do that with me. David, it's David.
And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.